Rip House. For any of you guys that haven't seen Rip House, you're in for a serious treat. It's one of the hottest bands in the area.
It was about how much could you take and how far could you go. That's what separated you from that band. Trying to be noticed in a field of millions.
Rip House was like a New York style thrash to me. That's what was happening.
They had a little mixture of everything and they were doing it well. They were definitely ahead of their time. What they were doing then is what everyone's trying to recreate now.
And they were really a standard of what the younger bands that were coming up wanted to do.
When we started in the late 80s, it wasn't a fairy tale time in the United States. So we made music you could slam to.
It's just tough, you know, especially nowadays. It's tough to get somebody to listen to. There's so much stuff out there.
Everybody doesn't really think much of their hometown. Oh, this is where I'm from. Nothing happens here. Well, things happen where you make them happen.
You have got to go out and travel. And if you're good, you'll find your level.
It was always an excuse for me to tell myself, hey, listen, I should just die in that accident. You know, it would have been a lot better off.
I couldn't be 100% dedicated to what Rip House was and stood for and is. I was on a completely different path now.
Success back then when you're young is defined. Rock star, fame, fortune. Really the prize at the end of the day is to get up on the stage and play a great show.
They were just as good as Anthrax or Overkill. They were in the same league as everybody. Just didn't get there. But sometimes you just like, you think about what could have been.
Hello, it's me, Kevin Vonesper. If you're watching this, you have found your way to the GWARPod, or just GWARPod, I guess. You don't call them the Gwar, right? So, GWARPod. Hey, if you didn't see my trick ending of the last show, I gotta start the show and show off my super cool Craction figure. This is supposed to go up here. Oh no, it's so brittle, you guys. You have no idea how like meticulous and brittle this thing is. It's Kevin the Dinosaur, made by John Poppy. Oh my god, it's so cool. John Poppy, refriend him on Facebook. He had some Zuck troubles. I don't know what happened, but he's back. And he made me into an action figure. Fucking awesome. Oh man. Well, there goes my algorithm for the day. Anyways, we're gonna have a very, where can I put this where it doesn't break? Over here. You guys, we're gonna have a really unique conversation tonight. I think it's gonna be awesome. But before that, I gotta open another Gwar Smash. It's that time again, right? What do I have to do? Hold it, turn it around for 10 seconds. Hey, is anyone else drinking these while watching the show? Maybe we can make it a thing. You know, speaking of smash, you should smash that like button. Smash that subscribe button. What is it to you? You don't have to watch all my stuff, but you know, I'm so close to 1,000. Just help me get there, guys. If you're watching this now, later, hit those buttons, man. It's nothing to you. Smash that like button, and let's smash this drink for tonight. It's so Antarctic. Anyways, before we start the show, I thought I would go talk about some Gwar news. Of course, there's always Gwar news. And also, if you know, just in case you didn't figure it out, this show is very not safe for work. Generally speaking, it is a show about Gwar. So, Gwar news. Oh, did you ever feel like, wait, where's my full screen? I gotta do this full screen. Whoops. You know what I'm gonna talk about already. Does anyone feel like you have Battle Maximus, but it's missing something here, like an awesome picture of the band, or maybe a song? You know, I feel like this could use another song. So maybe if it had Tammy, the Queen of Dirt. I think I said that right. That's right. It's almost been 10 years, but there's already going to be the 10-year anniversary of Battle Maximus, complete with such a much better album cover. Thank you so much. I'm just like, come on, there's no Gwar on this Gwar album cover. But we have fixed that. Go pre-order all the things on gwar.net. There's some great hoodies and stuff as well with this artwork. And of course, there's a video for Falling. You should go check out Tammy the Swine Queen. Tammy the Swine Queen? That's funny. It says Tammy Queen of Dirt up here. What is it, guys? Don't mess this one up. I want the proper name of this song. Is it Tammy the Swine Queen? I like that one better. I'm going to go with Swine Queen. The last thing, apparently, that Dave Brockie ever recorded for Gwar. So that's awesome. That's the Gwar news. Of course, they're in Europe right now, just like destroying people at festivals. And I think they're doing a couple local shows too. If you're in Europe, go see him. And if you're in America, get prepared for the Mudvayne tour with Cold Chamber. That's coming up soon, next month, right? Is anybody going? Hit me in the comments and in the chat. All right. Are we ready for our guest? It's time for another awesome edition of GWARPod.
GWARPod comes from on GWARPod. 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 GWARPod.
What's up, Tim?
Hey, man. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, Kevin?
I'm just chilling in my Gwar cave over here, you know. Drinking some.
Yep.
Have you tried any of this Gwar rum stuff yet?
No, I haven't. Is any good?
Yeah, it's not so bad. It's kind of fruity, you know.
Takes you back to Antarctica?
That's right. Yeah, we're just, you know, back to my memories, just instant memories of booting penguins all over the place. You know, what would they call it? Penguin football or
Yeah, you got to
whatever
wear
they
big
do.
galoshes and everything, and a hat with big ear flaps. You know.
Yes, exactly. You know, got to dress up while you're in Antarctica. I got the colors. We're matching today. We got the blues going on. So
Yeah, cool.
it's all working in our favor already. Tim, thanks for being here. You have definitely a unique perspective on Gwar and Dave Brockie as a person. Let's just go way back. From what I can gather, you've known him since you were teenagers in high school, maybe before that.
Oh, Dave was a freshman when I met him, and I was a junior. Yeah, met in art. We met in arts class in high school.
Was he art, like? What was his art like back then? Already, was it already just crazy?
I mean, the personality was already formed, you know, it was already there. It was already forming. So yeah, he was doing crazy stuff and I was doing crazy stuff. So like literally like going, oh, what are you doing over there? And he's like, oh yeah, what are you doing over there? And then we were just friends immediately. Yeah.
What were you doing over there?
Drawing.
What were you drawing, Tim?
I mean, all kinds of stuff. I mean, I don't know. Here's one of my doodles.
Nice. What do you call that one?
I don't call it anything. It's a dude. I mean, it's just an exercise.
So you still draw and doodle and pursue art?
Yeah, I do some stuff. I'm into photography now with doing garden photography and stuff with do some amazing stuff in my mom's garden. But anyway, back to Gwar.
Wait, no, this is the garden pod.
The garden pod.
Yeah, we're gonna talk all about your mom's garden all night, guys. Strap in.
Yeah, I think they want to hear about Dave and Gwar and some crazy
stuff. All right, I guess we could talk about Dave and Gwar. If we have to.
Before I forget, salty. Everybody out there, if you like to eat, you've got to go on YouTube and watch Salty Q Dirk's cooking show. All right, Salty Q Dirk's. Yeah.
Is there any relation to Michael Dirks?
Of course it is.
Nice. He's got a cooking show now?
Of course she is. What am I saying? Of course it is. Yes, of course she is. Yeah, Salty Q Dirks. Cook.
How did I miss this one?
She's a chef. Yeah. Dirks and his sister both are excellent cooks.
Oh, it's actually his sister.
Yes.
Because I have seen him dressed as a woman a few times, so you never know.
I have never seen that, but
really?
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Guys, help me out here. Didn't Dirks do some drag for some Gwar? Well, in It's Sleazy, he's in drag.
Oh wait, yeah, that's right. He did do some stuff in the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe like one of those crazy commercials or something they did too. I'm not sure. He may have.
I was in the movie and I can't even remember. Anyway, what the heck?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe even in the I'll Be Your Monster music video, someone dressed as a woman in that one. Someone fact check me while we're doing this. Where's my Jamie? I need a GWARPod Jamie. I mean, GWARPod slave to like look up all stuff for me while I'm talking.
You should have someone scurrying around behind you.
Yeah.
Like messing stuff up, things dropping off the shelves, someone you can give a backhand to occasionally. Yeah.
Well, I do have some characters up here. I don't want to destroy anything by,
Yeah, you don't want to mess up all your collectibles.
And there's well, that cuttlefish gets me into trouble sometimes, so.
Well, it got Dave into trouble.
Yeah, it sure did. And then suddenly there was a movie that you were in.
Yeah, the Cuttlefish of Cthulhu. Yeah. It's a great name too.
We got Vinny's here, John Poppy is here, and Freighter Novak is here. Is this one of your friends, Tim? Thank you.
Freighter, yeah. I told a few people about it, and I almost put it up on my Facebook page, but then I thought there's a lot of people there that probably just wouldn't even. So I sent it out on Facebook Messenger to some people. And then I hope the word might get around. But if I'm not completely boring, it might turn into a 1.5 parter or something.
Hey,
parter. Who knows? Who knows? There's so many stories about Gwar and Dave. There's so many stories, and
we need to get back to that. Okay, Okay, tell me more about Dave in high school, because this is what I'm most fascinated about. And was he in any high school bands? Was he playing music?
Yeah, he had a few. He had a few projects, but he had the Suburbans. Yeah. They were supposed to. I think he was younger than me, and I was on my way out the door at a certain point in high school, and I think he did some stuff in the the talent shows, like at Robinson High School and stuff. Some of his older friends, like Kathy Duke and Sean Shebish and everything, they might know a little bit more about that. But yeah, I mean, Dave was musical from I remember when he got his first guitar.
Tell me about that. Was it a bass guitar or just a regular guitar?
It was a guitar, and then he got a bass later. But he was a bass player.
Yeah,
I mean that's what Dave was. And but I remember one of the first albums he got was Flipper. I think was it Generic? Is that the name of the album?
Gwar Slave, look it up.
Yeah, anyway,
that sounds about right.
He played that album into the dirt, into the ground. I guess he had the ear and he could listen, and he started playing on his own. And took some lessons, but basically it was all on his own. So it's all self-taught pretty much.
Yeah. Were you guys going to punk shows at that point?
Not yet. Dave's brother was still alive at this point.
I want to talk about him too.
Huh? Oh yeah, yeah. I
Yeah, we'll
mean,
get
the,
that.
the, the whole Dave's whole life was very interesting, very unusual. I mean, we had a lot of adventures. I'm gonna try to keep everything. I don't know.
Have a Gwar smash. Spill some
Classy.
tea. No.
I'm gonna try to keep everything classy and try to keep my job with the government. But yeah, there's a lot of the whole thing. We went to shows. I was a guy named Jack Johnson was also, he worked with Gwar for a while. He was a friend of mine from high school. He was really into hair band. I mean, he had a record collection you wouldn't believe. And he's out in San Francisco now. But we all started going down. I mean, I started hanging down at the 930, the original 930 club.
That's what I thought.
Dave was still in high school and we were starting to do stuff. And then Dave, Death Piggy.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
that started in college, right?
Well, yes, but when I'm a little bit older than him, I was working, doing stuff. We were still seeing each other, but he was in high school. I was starting college and everything. And then Jack Johnson, who worked with Gwar for a while, we started going down to DC. And then Dave started going down to DC, running around in DC with his brother. And there was and getting involved in certain kind of, how can I say this politely? Very much in recreational drug use. Trips and whatnot.
You mean he wasn't straight edge?
No, he wasn't straight edge.
Is it true Ian MacKaye beat him up?
Ian MacKaye was after him, yeah. I remember Dave and I went to the Wilson Center down in DC.
Isn't that where Meatmen used to play?
Yep. And we saw the Meatmen there. Dave and I think that was the night Dave might have been run down one street and I ran down the other or something. I mean, I remember taking Dave to his first fanzine interview where he was being interviewed for a fanzine. I can't remember which one it is now, but I drove him down to DC and I couldn't tell you where it was now. It was near the Wilson. Huh?
For Death Piggy?
I guess it was because he was just getting popular. He was, his first fanzine. And I remember going back down this back alley and seeing my first rat as big as a raccoon. So yeah, a couple of them back there. And then the rats, you could hear them running around the walls and everything. So I took, Dave was my best friend, so whatever Dave needed, we took care of it. Took him there, and punk shows were a very big part of Dave and I hanging out. And I brought up Jack a few times, and I don't want to be a babbling brook, but I'm wearing a government issue T-shirt right now, and I was actually a bouncer on the stage for government issue when they played at a place called the Hung Jury Pub down in DC. And the people were so high that you could put your arm out and stop one person. They were so packed in, you'd stop a wave of people. And Ian, oh God, why can't I think of his name now? The lead singer.
GI?
Yeah, for GI.
Gwar Slave, look it up.
Anyway, he was doing magic tricks out of my ears and stuff, pulling stuff out of my ears and stuff, and singing right there and everything. And I was,
so cool.
Young guy, but yeah, the 930 Club, Hung Jury, Wilson Center, even the old Ontario Theater, which is not the Ontario Theater now. It's so many bands were there. But anyway, I'm babbling. Yeah, I think I answered your question. Yeah, music's always been a very big part of Dave and I hanging out. I mean,
what were the Suburbans like?
I mean, like a punk band, just Dave was punk. Dave's always been punk. I think the main part of him is punk. I mean, the things he did when he was a kid. I don't know if you ever read any of his Richmond rant things.
Yeah,
but
I did. I haven't read War Ghoul, but I did read those.
Oh wait,
I have it, but I will. I'm savoring it for a rainy day. Let's say a rainy year.
Well, here you go.
Yeah. Aw, what does it say?
It says, "Dear Tim, to my oldest and dearest friend, not oldest in terms of my oldest and best friend, just in the fact you are so old. All lies. Your pal Dave, 2011."
Nice.
So,
I'm gonna
yeah, he
get
always
to
liked
it.
to twist things around.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're my oldest and best friend, but all lies, not really. Yeah. Dave would get really mad if I ever joked about us, me not being his best friend.
Well, that's why it's on the flyer.
Well, yeah. No, he would literally get pissed. Like one time, Dirks and I were sitting in Dave's house, the last place where he's found, passed away, and Dave was cleaning up in the other room, and Dirks and I were just sitting on the couch, and Dave was, "You're my best friend," blah blah blah, and I was, of course, I said, "Watch this, Dirks," and I was just teasing Dave a little bit. I'm just like, "Oh, you have thousands of best friends, Dave. Everyone loves you. You got all your fans. You have thousands of fans." He goes, "Oh no, damn it!" And he threw something against the wall. "You're my best friend." He was perturbed about something, but yeah, it's fun to tease your best friend once in a while.
You got to, of course. That's part of it.
Yeah. But getting back to music, Dave, one of the things he said, and I don't know how this is even true, and I doubt it. Dave was such a nice man and such a perfect friend. He was a better friend than I probably was to him. But it was just a friendship, went back and forth, and wasn't perfect by any standards, but he was my best friend forever, and he was like my little brother. But he used to tell me, he goes, you turn me on to more new music and more new bands than anybody else. And I'm like, how is that even possible? He would get stuff sent to him constantly. People were giving him stuff. So I think he was just a nice guy. I mean, people were always telling me
to.
Oh,
do you remember?
So, I mean, so much. I mean, I got Dave into some real, just like industrial, like when it first started coming out, and 9353, old punk from DC. He would always show me new stuff, have me listen to new stuff, and I was always, I had a record collection I sold to Plan 9 Records down in Richmond for like 10 grand. So it was all first editions and colored vinyl and everything. But Dave, I had the stereo there when we had our killer bachelor pad down in Richmond where the band would hang out between.
We're going to talk about that too.
Yeah, that's the front cover of Ex-Cops.
You want to skip right to it? Let's skip right to
Ex-Cops. Whatever you want to do. We can go back.
That's cool. Some people hate my flow, but I like to flow, Hey, I have a linear path, but sometimes it doesn't go that way. These are all things I wanted to talk about. And in particular, did you know this was just re-released a couple weeks ago? Kind of under the radar by Brutal Planet Records. I'm not sure if it's exactly remastered or what, but
I'm gonna have to talk them up for a minute, by the way.
Yes, please do. It comes with a little trading card. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll have to support them and buy that.
Yeah, I don't get
free stuff anymore.
I know. Well, I know Gwar had nothing to do with it because they're not promoting it, but it is out there. You can get it. It's not on Spotify or anything. I think you got to really search for it, but it does exist. The re-release.
One of my favorite things Dave did. I mean, I like Dave's side projects. I love Death Piggy. One of my favorites of his. Ex-Cops, great. And also the DBX.
Yeah, DBX.
I mean, Dave's humor just it always
did anyone buy this? Hit me up in the chat. Let me know what you think. It doesn't sound much different to me. There's no bonus stuff, but it's nice that it's available again. But it sucks that Gwar didn't get to put it out themselves like they wanted to.
Well, I wanted to mention really quickly. I've been speaking. I wasn't speaking, but I was texting Pete Lee. Ex-Gwar member, or I guess once a Gwar member, always a Gwar member potentially. But I was talking to him, and I think I'm going to be going to their show down in Richmond. So
I don't think anything's been announced yet, but I think we all know that it's happening.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe I shouldn't have said anything, but I like to talk them up. I mean, Casey, I think
Mike Bishop already said it.
Well, I think Casey's with the band. I think Pete's there. I don't think Mike Dunn's with the band anymore. But
I want to talk about Mike Dunn too. Yeah, I have a lot of things to talk about here. Okay. Well, first of all, I guess here, can we run some commentary?
Sure.
This is the X-Cops video that was filmed mostly in your house.
Yeah.
Tell me about this house and who lived there and what was it like?
It was an apartment.
Yeah.
And all of like apartments in Richmond were like either pre-Civil War or Civil War. They're thick walls, horsehair, plastered, everything. We had a second floor apartment. You see they're going up to the stairs. They're coming up the alleyway side. And we called it the freight car. It literally stretched from the alley all the way to the front of South Boulevard Street, right down the street from Maymart Park. The interesting thing about that apartment was the day after I left, there was a shootout there with a drug dealer who lived right next to us. A couple of his guys, I think it was his guys, 2 guys stepped out of nowhere and shot into a car during rush hour in the corner of Cary Street and South Boulevard. The guys, they didn't hit anybody, not even the people, the innocent bystanders in their cars. And then the 2 guys that got out of their car and shot back. And then my friend sent me the news blurb and said like they found over 92 shell casings there. But that's where we live, right there on the. Right there.
Whose room is that right there?
Is that wasn't me, was it?
I don't know. Was it you? Were you
Wait
jerking off in the bed?
Wait a second. Was that me with long hair? I don't remember being in this. No, that's Dave right there, isn't it?
No, Dave's one of the cops.
Wait, yeah, Dave's one of the cops. Who's that?
Who is that? Is that you?
That's me.
Dude, you didn't even know you were in this music video?
No.
Oh man, you're in the music video. You're the guy doing stuff in the bed.
Yeah. Oh my God, is that me?
I don't
know.
It
looks like my big dumb jaw and everything.
It does look like you, and you did live there, so.
Oh well, I forget all the things I did. I forget all the
things. Do you remember them filming this?
What?
Do you remember them filming this at all?
I remember him filming it, but I was working, like a lot of time. All right, whatever. I was working at a strip club down. That is me. That's me. That's me.
Let's get that close up right there. Look at that guy.
Yeah, that's me.
You're famous.
Well, I was also in. Yeah, I don't ever want to be. I never want to be famous. I was just helping a friend out, but
yeah.
But I was also in a video they did, which I thought they'd say it's hilarious. I've only seen it a couple times, but I play a character called Frankenstein. And it's
it's sleazy, right?
Yeah, it's sleazy, and it's the fucked up creature core.
Yeah. Oh man, I didn't export that clip to show, but hey,
that's okay. Whatever.
That's the movie that Mike Dirks plays Miss Dottie Crust.
Yeah. So Mike Dunn, in that apartment, Mike Dunn lived all the way back in a little room that was supposed to be like a little pantry that we had a mattress on the floor. The poor guy lived there. Who is that? I can't.
That's also the guy on the album cover.
I know. I'll have to look at the album cover because I know who it is.
That's funny. Oh yeah. So who else lived there? It was you and Dave and Mike Dunn.
Well, it was Dave and I. I signed the lease. I was the primary leaseholder. Dave and I moved.
You were the responsible one.
Yeah. Yeah. Matter of fact, it's funny you bring that up because I told Dave that if we moved in, there wasn't going to be any, because I was well aware of Dave's proclivity for not paying his bills when he was on tour. And so I said, don't think you're going to leave me in the lurch. And yet I was left in the lurch, and it got so bad. They were coming home on tour, and they came home to the United States, or they were in the United States, and they were near Richmond. They came in, we had a smoker on the front balcony that overlooked the streets. And we'd watch the kids come at like 3 a.m. and drop money off at the drug dealer's place on the ground floor, and then grab something and ride off with their mountain bikes. And we have a smoker. We'd be smoking a turkey and just drinking beers up there like 3, 4 in the morning. And What was I going to say about that?
Was that where you got your drugs? I mean,
No,
was it
no,
easy
no,
access?
no. We weren't messing with that guy. No, no.
Okay.
But you were saying about the responsible one, and you
Yeah.
asked who lived there. But the thing is, they had come into town, and we were sitting there partying, and they had smoked it was whole turkey, and everyone's chowed down. I mean, everybody was there. We played Sega golf until like 5, 6 in the morning, whatever, and then, but they left all the plates and everything in the sink.
Oh.
And it had food on them, had fat, and it had meat. And I didn't know that. I had looked at it kind of, and they left town. The next day, they partied, wrecked the place, left town. And so I said, F this. I'm not going to clean up, every time, whatever. It said, this time I'm putting my foot down. Well, it turned out to be about a week or so before they were coming back. And the smell in that kitchen really started to hum in there. And that's this expression I used, to hum. It was really humming. Woo. And I cleaned the whole refrigerator, everything out. And I don't want to make this too long a story, but finally the electricity went out. Because I was like, I'm not paying the bills either until Dave gets home. It's like, he was supposed to give me money, didn't, everything. Electricity went out. So we had one window over our kitchen sink. And the apartments are so old that we had no garbage disposal or anything. So the plates are in there. So finally, I cleaned the whole kitchen, spick and span, everything. Nothing smells, still horrible. I pick a plate up. There's maggots on the plate. Literally maggots writhing on the plate. So I said, I was like cursing like a satanic a sailor that worships Satan. And I was like, and I went and got candles, rubber gloves, and started washing all these things. And I literally started dropping maggots in the candle.
Oh.
And I started singing, maggots, maggots, maggots falling like rain.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I just started laughing. I was like, here is art, or life imitating art, or whatever, all the way around. Yeah. So, yeah, we had a lot of fun adventures.
So that's what it was like. So I guess that answers my question. How was Dave as a roommate?
Dave was he's a liberal roommate. Yes, he freewheeling. Yeah, I don't know how many toilets Dave destroyed in various places he lived.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah.
No, seriously, the guy is a danger to any porcelain.
So
matter of fact, I used to call every day. I knew when Dave got up, because when we lived together, or even when we didn't, when I go visit him for the weekends or something, I always know Dave was up because you'd hear some loud belching coming from his room, like maybe one loud belch. Then you'd hear the door bang open. Then the shuffling down the hallway, and then and what I used to call calling the hounds to the hunt. With a bugle, it would be a long, drawn out bit of gas.
Oh.
Yeah. Anybody could tell you about Dave Brockie. He was a very earthy fellow. Yes.
So wait, who else lived in the house? It was you,
Mike Dunn,
Dave,
and Pete Lee lived there for a while.
Pete Lee lived. Okay.
Yeah, it was a big apartment. Yeah.
I want to know a little bit about Mike Dunn, because he's kind of a mystery, and I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently they don't know what happened to him. Do you have any idea what happened to Mike Dunn?
You know what? It's funny that you asked me, because I think Pete was telling me about Mike, and he said something. It was just a sentence or two, and I don't remember now. I can find out.
Did he like
find
God or something?
What's that?
Did he like find God or something?
I don't know. I wish Pete was listening to this, because Pete could tell you. I'll find out. I'll let you know.
I mean,
I don't
Mike
think
Dunn,
anything bad happened to him.
No, I don't think so either. I just feel like when the ex-cops were playing again and Brad was playing drums, they were just kind of like, yeah, we don't know where Mike is, so whatever.
Maybe he's in his own band now or something. Maybe. I don't know why that makes
sense. Does anyone in the chat know what happened to Mike Dunn, the drummer of the Ex-Cops album and tour original?
But there's so many crazy stories that go along with Dave's and I's friendship, and then the Gwar stories. I mean,
Yeah, we didn't even get to Gwar yet. Like, let's go back.
well, they would be over there. They would be over there all the time. I mean, literally, if I pulled up at my apartment in the back alley, and like I tell a girl, oh, there'll be people there and everything. If there wasn't shadows moving around the second floor, where the lights weren't on, the music wasn't playing, something was wrong. I mean, we were just. It was party central.
I bet,
and then I became I was a clothing consultant down there, and then I started being a bouncer at the tobacco company, which is a club down there. So then the best looking women worked that club, little short mini skirts and little leotard tops and everything. Beautiful women, very classy, beautiful women, nice girls, but I made friends with them. So they would come over, they would be getting ready to go to work. We lived in the city. So can I come by and drink a beer, hang out for a few minutes? So we had them coming over. Then I left that job and I started being a manager of a place called the Paper Moon, a strip club. And then we had hot and cold, beautiful women coming over the house all the time. Strippers and cocktail waitresses. And then our friends as well. So the drug dealer that I was telling you about earlier, one day Dave was off somewhere, but I used to wear suits to work when I was a strip club manager, and I took a Mossberg assault shotgun with me, Dave's Mossberg assault shotgun, which was an 8-shot pistol grip shotgun. But I would be counting money at 3 a.m. in a strip club on the bad side, south side of Richmond. I wasn't going to have anyone break in there and, kill me and take a couple $1,000s or something, So I had the gun with me, but I'd always go to work with the gun, with my trench coat on and my suit. So the drug dealer saw me one day and was like, yo, OG. And I was like, I didn't think he was talking to me, but he came up and started telling me, what you do and everything. And I was just like, I'm just a manager of strip clubs. No. He thought I was a cop or something.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but he said, I want to let you know that my crew will never bother your car, will never, always be respectful of you and your women. And the first time I brought a woman out the back, one of my friends back to go take her to a car, the guys had been out there throwing 40s down and everything and cursing. We'd been partying in our apartment. We could hear them out there. As soon as I came walking outside, he went dead silent. How you doing, sir? I was like incredulous. I was like, what? The guy followed through. His crew other cars would get nails and tires or whatever. My car never got messed with. We never got messed with, so whatever. Perception, never judge a book by a cover, but they thought I was some kind of badass.
So is that the origin of Cerruti Fancy Pants?
Cerruti Fancy Pants, I think it was something that they wrote,
because it sounds pretty. Here, we're gonna run some more commentary. How about that?
Sure.
Look at that. That's you with the gun, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty much how you just described yourself.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's one of the suits I'd go to work in, actually. There's the shotgun that I carried to work.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's Dave's shotgun. The funny story about that is I can tell you a story. Huh? Well, I can tell you a story about that shotgun. Sure. They put a target up for me to shoot at with the blanks in it for realism, the blanks, and they drew a picture of it as like a big Death Piggy face, Death Piggy
logo. Yeah.
Anyway, so you missed it.
Well, yeah. Show again. I'll make you full screen. Yeah, there you go.
So that's what I was shooting at, pretty much. I mean, it was something like that, and basically, Dave just scribbled me. But I shot it. They had a director, a weapons safety guy there. Really? He goes, "When I yell fire, you fire." Okay. So I fired this piece of newsprint on this easel, big wooden easel thing I was firing at, and the roof. They had a blue screen back there, and everything, and the roof wasn't that high above us, but it wasn't that low either. But so I shoot it, and it started smoldering, and then the guy goes fire, and I shot it and I hit it in the exact same place again. So the stuff that was already smoldering little flames started licking up off of it. And he goes, fire. And I fired again. He goes, fire, fire. And I was firing. And he goes, no, fire. And flames were going up and licking, and the place was going to burn down. And Gwar, the slave pit on Chamberlain Avenue. Yeah. So, yeah, he said fire. I kept firing, you know, but no, he meant fire. So,
So, wow, that I never heard of behind the scenes of this movie, and that's a good story.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, there's so many stories. I mean,
I know we'll probably have to do this again at some point. I mean, we haven't even. We haven't
done Crazy Dave stuff.
Yeah.
But Lee, Mike Dunn, myself, and Dave lived in the apartment, and everyone else was there pretty much all the time. Because Dave was he's a people person. He made stuff happen. I mean, he's the guy. I mean, there's no coincidence. It doesn't take much brain power, to think why Dave was the lead singer.
Oh yeah, he had a commanding presence for sure.
He's intelligence, humor, presence. I mean, yeah.
So,
I hate to pat my own best friend on the back, but he was great.
Do you ever lead with "I was in a Grammy-nominated movie"?
Nah.
Because you were in a Grammy-nominated movie.
Yeah, the very first one. I think we were up against the Swedish National Orchestra, MC Hammer, and Annie Lennox, I think.
Was it this might have been Green Jelly, but Peter Gabriel?
Peter Gabriel.
That might have been the Green Jelly nomination. I might be getting them confused.
Well, I think Peter Gabriel, was that the same year? No, maybe it was Green Jelly
or something. Maybe I'm not sure. It was around.
Well, I know they said. I know Dave told me Eurythmics, and I know they. I think
right, Eurythmics.
Also told me MC Hammer. That must have been the only time MC Hammer was put up. No, that was an unfair thing.
I mean, he was only popular for a very short period of time, so you're probably right.
As long as those pants lasted.
Yeah. Too legit to quit, man.
Yeah, got it.
So
I'm not that legit.
Yeah,
I can quit sometimes.
So were you around when Gwar was starting, and what was that like?
Well, I was around before Gwar started. Matter of fact,
there too, yeah.
This is really
around for the Death Key days.
Well, this is really interesting because I would love to give credit where credit's due. I'm sure a lot of bands, they have all their own unique stories. I'm sure you could tell unique stories about Green Jelly and the French, all the whole craziness, the whole three-ring circus of being a band. But the personalities of Gwar, and I think I can say this without fear of recrimination, or big personalities.
We're learning that on this show. Tune in every week.
I mean, Hunter Jackson, all these people, this convergence of spheres came together, and I don't want to diminish anybody, because even friends, now they would call, God, do I want to say Bohabs on here?
I mean,
well, I don't want fans to think that, Gwar loved their fans, but they're
Bohabs, yeah.
Well, yeah, but we would make jokes about Bohabs, the kind of people that wanted to be a person's in a band's friend no matter what, and would do anything. Oh, here we'll give you stuff and everything. Yeah, Bohab. But I was Dave's friend before there was ever even a thought of Gwar. Right. And the reason I want to bring that up is because Dave's personality. We were playing Dungeons and Dragons back in high school and college, and the adventures Dave and I came up with. Some of the characters ended up in Gwar later on. Minor characters. Like Bone Snapper and Marrow Sucker. I think there was 2 ogres that were on stage for a while. And but Scott Crawl, He had some trouble towards the end with everything, but Scott's a great guy. He played Dungeons and Dragons with us. But the point I'm going to make is all this stuff, the personalities were there. Hunter Jackson with his love of anime and wrestling, and he's a big personality. And so all these people came together down in Richmond, and this soup began. This magic began. Mike Bonner showed up, and, he never left. He met Dave, he never left. He went AWOL in the Navy. I mean, this is the power of this thing. Colette, all these people, Colette Miller, Danielle Stamp, the original Gorman, all these people coming together. There's a big contingent of people that come down from Northern Virginia to go to Richmond to go to school. And there's this Greg Ottinger is a guy that played for a band called the Alternatives.
Yeah. We just had Chris on last week, and the next episode is Jim Thompson. So
Jim Thompson. Matter of fact, I was talking to Adam Green the other day.
Really? Because I messaged him about being on this show, and I haven't heard from him. So if you can put
he was talking to me about it the other day. I don't know what he's gonna do.
Okay.
He's got his own business he's running, and he's busy right now.
As long as he saw my message, he knows about it.
Well, we'll see. We had some. I don't want to bring up any negativity.
Right. I was gonna say we're gonna try to avoid the drama on this episode, but
right. But I will touch on it very briefly because I don't mean Gwar any harm at all. And a matter of fact, there's a few people that get mad at me for saying this, but I wish them nothing but success. I don't wish to poison my own well. There's a saying about you can be mad at people, and most of the time they don't even know you're mad at them, and you're just walking around grumbling yourself and mad. Well, we had some heat going on between myself and the band after Dave passed away for reasons that the fans are probably aware of, something to do with art. Lawyers were involved and everything. But the thing is, now, the positive thing I'm going to say is back then, I was only doing what my best friend asked me to do. He made me promise one day in front of his last house that he lived in, the one he was found in, passed away. He said, one day we're getting out of the car, and he said, I want you to promise me you'll never let anything happen to any of my stuff. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, his mom had passed away by then. His dad was up in West Virginia and stuff. He didn't see his dad much. He said, I don't want anything to happen to my mom's stuff, the sentimental stuff. I don't want to go 4 winds, people just grabbing stuff, whatever. My artwork, blah, blah, blah. He made me promise. But I said, Dave, you got to be kidding me. Yeah. You're going to have to write a will out. No one's going to believe me. And even if they did believe me, you still need a will. There's things that need to be done. Oh, yeah, I will. Well, if he did do one, I've never seen it. But so there's that, just touching on that. But now what I wanted to say is, and I'll probably catch some heat from certain people about this too. I hope they do have it. I hope they have all Dave's artwork. Seriously. Because what am I going to do with it? We were going to do a memorial with VCU and everything and have a display. But guess what? Bands need to make money. And as you know, Kevin, maybe you watched a movie called F is for the Other F Word. It's a documentary about punk rock bands, Pennywise and a bunch of bands. But they talk about the difficulty of making money nowadays as a band. Mm-hmm. Because with all the music sharing and everything, I think this might be changing now, but they said you almost have to tour all the time to make any money. So I at the time I was a little bit critical, I was decrying the Gwar bar and everything. Oh, look what, but hey, they, like everybody else, like you, me, and everybody else, we all have to put food on the table. We all have to make money. They're getting, the years are going on. And they've got to make the money while they can. And so, you know what? I think they're the best people to be I know Dave used to always say, I don't want my artwork down in a basement anywhere or anything. I want it out being worshipped by my fans, by people. I don't want it just, getting black mold somewhere down there. And so if they have it, I don't give a damn. I hope they have it. I hope they make money off of it. I hope it makes them a secure financial future. I hope the Gwar bar is a success. I hope it's all success. I really do. They were my friends. They're my, I was basically Dave's friend. I had the luxury of having a great friend. So maybe people thought I didn't reach out a lot, but I was friendly. But those guys were all my friends, and I want the best for them. Yeah. So.
Well, okay, we got that one out of the way. I wasn't sure if we were going to bring that up or not, but I'm glad that it's out there.
I'm all about the truth, dude.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, that's part of the story, and yeah, I agree. You heard it here. Get that Death Piggy up on Spotify, man.
Yeah, why good? Death Piggy. I need Death Piggy on Spotify.
It's like you can't. What the hell? I don't know who owns that music, but dude, get it out there.
Was it Shimmy Disc? No, Shimmy Disc record.
Shimmy Disc did the first Gwar record.
Yeah, Shimmy Disc did the first one. Yeah.
I mean, I think they've released it on vinyl and stuff like that. I've had all the living members of Death Piggy on this show, but it's not on digital or anything. So, someone get on that shit. Where's that Dave Brockie art coffee table book? We would all buy one of those.
Yeah, the band's incredibly talented. I mean, all of them.
Oh,
I mean,
for sure.
Dave was really broke up when Corey died.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Dave loved Corey.
Which is a good way to promote again that they're re-releasing Battle Maximus, the tribute to Corey Smoot record.
Yes, there you go. I can't even get myself lined up here. Here you go.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Shameless visual prop.
Yes. Tell me what this is.
How do I get that on there?
Right to the...
This is Noom. See, Noom.
Oh, yes.
This is Dave Brockie, original Dave Brockie artwork from when he was very young. Why can't I line it up? There we go.
There it is. Almost. Yeah, we can see it.
There we go. Now, my mom, she was alive. When I was away, they were remodeling this room I'm in, and this was on my wall. My mom, she let people draw on my wall. I had murals on everything. Dave came in, just pulled out a indelible marker and just started drawing.
Fucking classic Dave Brockie art right there.
Yeah, but my mom had the foresight to cut it out of the wall and save it for me. Oh, what's this back here?
Yes, what is that back there?
Oh.
It looks like a Dave Brockie.
It's a crown jewel. This is Dave Brockie did other things to represent him, but that's the only
self-portrait.
That's the only serious self-portrait he did.
It's so. I mean, it looks like a picture. It's so good.
Let me see if I can get a little closer for you. Scary.
I mean, it's very accurate.
Yeah, you know how he did it? I think I told you this story, but we'll do it for the fans real quick.
Please.
His girlfriend, Danielle, his girlfriend at the time, Danielle, little Danielle, we called her.
Little Danielle.
Little Danielle.
Was there a big Danielle?
Well, when you have friends, Danielle Stamp, she's not a big woman, but yeah, presence. Little Danielle was a little diminutive woman that Dave dated. His fiance actually. I
never knew that.
Mm-hmm.
What era was this?
90s. Yep.
Okay.
She's from Kentucky. She knew Jameson Land. Matter of fact, that's how she started talking up Jameson, then Jameson started. I don't know if you know who Jameson is.
Yeah, he was Beefcake, and he lived with him as well, right?
Yeah.
Is that a whole story there? I don't know the details.
There's a whole story there too. People think Dave passed away. Okay, keep it positive. They found him on a Sunday. Dave had contacted me the day before he passed away. Now, everyone thinks Dave passed away on Saturday, but he contacted us, or he passed away on Sunday, excuse me, because that's when they found him. But he contacted Adam Green and I and a friend of his in Amsterdam called Erwin, who I call E, and he wanted to play Nazi Zombies with us. You know, Nazi Zombies, Call of Duty.
Okay, yeah. I thought it was a video game. Yeah.
It's a video game, and we.
I don't know. I stopped at Super Nintendo, but I believe you.
Well, Dave loved this game, and we would play it, the four of us: Adam Green, I, Dave, and E, Erwin. And why did I bring that up? Oh, you asked me a question about
Jameson.
Oh, anyway, we would play this game, and he had said, let's play in a half hour. Well, I was going to my sister's birthday at a French restaurant that day. I didn't get back to Dave until the next day. But Adam and E told me that he had contacted them as well. And then he said, we'll meet in a half hour to play the game. Then he never showed up.
Oh, wow.
And they found the EMTs, or people that found him, said they found drug paraphernalia, but I pretty much know what it was. He liked to crush up pills and do them. Xanax, I think they were. And Xanax, at the time, he had just come back from, they said he had a heroin overdose, but Dave had been off heroin for a while. He went to Russia for 3 weeks. He didn't have a heroin dealer there. He had been on opiate blockers. Then he went to Japan and Australia. I don't think he had any drug dealers there. So he had said he was off it, and he was not even doing the opiate blockers anymore. So what I think happened, unless he came home and got some heroin that day, then I know that he got pills the night before and was really drunk, and he thought that he had lost them. He bought more, and then he was doing well. The news at the time was fentanyl had come into a port in New Jersey. People died up and down the East Coast. Fentanyl shows up as an opiate, and he was probably crushed up some pills and was doing them. Probably had his beer right next to him. We came home so many times. Turn on the TV. He had his big chair right there. He loved being. Put his 12-pack down on the floor. Probably set up his laptop for any interviews or whatever, and then get ready to play some video games or watch TV, drink a beer. And he probably crushed him up and did something. He probably had fentanyl in him. That's what I personally think happened. I can't prove it, but I think that's what happened. And Adam thinks that's what happened as well. And Adam's Dave's good friend as well. So,
wow.
Anyway. So we think that Dave passed away on Saturday because that's why he never contacted anyone, because he loved Nazi Zombies. He didn't just get drunk and fall asleep. And then they found him the next day. They came home Saturday night, and Dave had a Jägermeister tapestry hanging down in the archway that goes into his living room. Well, you could probably see his outline in the chair because the light was probably on and the TV was on. But they probably said, hey, Dave, whatever. He probably didn't say anything. They went upstairs, and they used to go in their room and just shut the door all the time. Jameson and his girlfriend. And they found him the next day. So, yeah, I think Saturday he passed away. Anyway.
Wow, that was heavy. I need a Gwar smash. I need a sip of Gwar smash.
Well, there's a lot of fun stories as well, but there's the thing I want to impart about Gwar is that they've gone through a lot. They've gone through a lot. Dave called me the morning that Corey passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Called me when they were like right there at the border, getting ready to go across. They found Corey. Yep. Dave was crying, and it's just, they were family. That
Sure.
All the friends, everybody. I mean, people just always were willing to help out Gwar and help their friends and everything. But anyway, you're the interviewer.
This is great stuff, Tim. I mean, it's heavy, but it's great. It's good, pertinent information and insight for sure. Oh, I have that picture in my slideshow, which I haven't even started yet.
Well,
you want to go through some slides? Is it okay if I show some pictures?
Sure. Did I send you this one?
Yes.
David and I, young punks, when I'm getting ready to butcher knife his cigarette.
Well, first of all, what's this?
That is Okay.
Let's start. Let's
I
go.
had,
Let's
I
look
had
young.
started.
So
Oh, very young. I had started. I was brought up. I was brought aboard as an equal partner. I was made an offer to have a. This was before fax machines or anything. This is how old this is. I was made an offer to be part of a equal partner in a courier company down on Capitol Hill, right in sight of the Capitol building, Union Station, everything. And that's that time period. I had a little Volkswagen Golf GT, and I had just stopped over to see if Dave could go somewhere. And no, his dad said, "You're not going anywhere till you rake these leaves up." And he had a little baby pool there, and he was putting the leaves in the baby pool. Quite a worker, Dave was. Yes, didn't have plastic bags, lawn bags, or anything. Just put him in a baby pool. Yep, he had a little plastic baby pool there. But yeah, we were just joking with each other as usual, and he was just clowning around. Yep.
yeah, and then I think I found this on your Facebook, but I just wanted to show the kind of music that you were listening to in the early 80s, right?
Oh yeah, that's one of my mixed tapes.
Let's see what we got here. Billy Idol, Simple Minds, some bands I never heard of before.
Who have you heard of?
The Bongos.
Oh, the Bongos, yeah.
I'll have to check
This
that
is back in. I was also heavily into alternative.
It's dated January 5th, 1982.
Yeah,
and the other side is the 4th. So.
Yeah, I've been into music my whole life.
I just like that this was like a relic of insight into, what was happening in 1982. Not a lot of punk rock on here. Duran Duran.
No, I did a lot of mixtapes. I had a huge record collection. I think I did that for a girl.
Yeah,
I did that mixtape for a girl, Carol Stimac.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Okay, so here's the picture.
Hey, me with hair.
Yeah, you with hair. And what's that shirt that you're wearing?
Absence of Malice.
Who's that?
Great band.
From Richmond or?
God, where is Absence of Malice from? God, am I gonna have to look this up?
Jamie.
They played where I saw them play was in Richmond. Yeah.
Okay. Like what? So how old are you guys here?
Oh my God!
You look like babies.
We are.
He is smoking a cigarette, so.
Yeah, this is literally when Dave had gone to he was still in school and everything, or maybe he was still in school. So matter of fact, I don't know, there's a picture of him stumbling down to the 7-Eleven to get more beer. He was drunk.
Oh, nice.
There, you see him stumbling?
Yeah.
We were very young. And here's me with a chainsaw.
Oh, yeah.
Same apartment. Yeah.
Wait, let me full screen that one. Nice.
Yeah, I know. Pretty scary seeing a guy, big, tall, bony troll wearing nothing but shorts and flip-flops and sunglasses with his chainsaw. Yeah. That was the same house that we were staring at Scott Crawl until he woke up.
Scott Crawl. He's on the top of my list of people I'd love to talk to on this show. So just
I tried to get contact with him. I'll try again. Yeah.
I say it all the time. I'm very open about who I want to talk to. Scott Crawl, Mike Botter, Dave Muscle. Like, those are top of the list guys, if anyone can find them for me. I mean, I found them, but they just don't see my message. It's cool. I'm not offended. I'm just putting it out there. Scott Crawl.
Well, people all have their there's a lot of personalities again. Mike Bonner is was just true blue. He is the truest. He's a machine. He's a slave extraordinaire. Yeah, he's I asked him about it. I talked to him. I think we were texting, and he might be coming up here to spend some time and for a weekend and have some seafood and stuff, because I was saying we need to see each other soon. We haven't. Mike and I, of all the Gwar people, besides Dave, Mike and I got along really well. We're good friends. I haven't seen him in years. I feel bad about that.
Hey, no pressure to anybody. I'm just saying, personally, those are the people I really want to talk to.
Yeah, Mike. Oh my God.
There's what's the Nick character's name again?
It's Rudy Fancy Pants.
Rudy Fancy Pants.
Yep.
Hey, John Poppy, did you make a correction figure for this guy? I forget.
Probably
I
not.
I see your comments. I'll get to them at some point. Trust me, I'm not ignoring.
I'm not one of the people that people be buying figurines of. They probably want all
he
the.
doesn't sell them. He doesn't sell them, but he's got every Gwar card. He's made like over 100 of these things.
Well, cool. He's artiste.
Oh, yes. For sure. I mean, like different versions of every character, like real, like completist, 70s Star Wars toys. Like if he's in the frame for 1 second, like he's part of it. He did. Oh man, dude. Hey, if you want to send me that picture of it, I can show it to him on the show.
Oh, cool. Yeah, there's so much like.
Hey, someone made an action figure of you.
Action figure.
Yes, someone made an action figure of you, Tim. Ooh,
another one of Dave's bands.
Dick Suck Jack. I don't know about this one. When was
it's
that?
Filthy, isn't it? Like? It's filthy. Look.
Oh yeah, it's just disgusting.
We had T-shirts with this on it. We used to wear them around Richmond.
I think I've seen pictures of that but I didn't know it was a band.
Yeah.
What was Dick Suck Jack, and what was that like? And who was in it?
Now I can't remember if it actually. I think they might have played 1 or 2 shows, or maybe it was a band that Dave said would be funny. You know what, Bobby? God, you might have to talk to some of the guys in Gwar. I might have to talk to Dave Washburn or some people and ask about Dick Suck Jack. God, I have so many stories and so many things up here that sometimes some stuff slips through. What else? There's so many crazy stories that have to go with Gwar. People don't even have any idea. I mean, it's just they have stamina, don't they? I mean, they've been pushing and pushing and pushing all the way from the very beginning. And I was talking about the personalities. I mean, Chuck Varga. I mean, all these people came together. I mean, Dirks. Beefcake, Mike Bishop, just all very talented, unique individuals. So I can't hear you. What's happening?
Sorry, I was muted.
Oh.
I didn't finish my news segment, but on the subject of Chuck Varga, go get your Chuck Varga t-shirts. It all goes to help him fucking stay alive, man.
Oh, really? Is that for Chuck? Is that for Chuck's cure and everything, or?
Yeah. They're doing fundraiser. There was a whole contest about which art was going to get on the t-shirt. I ordered mine. It's, I'll
have to order one of those too then.
Yeah. So go check it out on the Sexecutioner Facebook page. I love this artwork. Go support the man. And hey, if you're in New York, I don't know if I'm going to be there, but the Mermaid Parade at Coney Island is coming up this weekend, and he's definitely going to be there with his wife Bambi. I know he's making some stuff for it. He was King Neptune for a while, so
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that's here in New York. Awesome. So go check it out.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, all the guys. I mean, if you guys get a chance, any of the fans, go see X Cops. They're this maybe Pete Lee, Casey Orr. I mean. Great.
Oh yeah,
guitar,
I can't wait for that.
Bass player, huh?
I can't wait for that. I gotta wait for them. We gotta go see the Mudvayne tour first. We gotta get through that one.
Well, I saw your advertisement at the very beginning, and I got Mudvayne and Cold Chamber on one of my playlists. Yeah.
Yeah, I love me some Cold Chamber. I'll say that much. I mean, I've got
30 playlists. They're on definitely some of my playlists on Spotify.
I'm kind of, I flipped my opinion on this show. At first I was a little like, what the hell? Gwar's in the middle of the show. But as Mike Bishop explained to me, the most important thing about this is that they are now in Live Nation. So go support that, and maybe next time Gwar will be at the top. I'm kind of excited to see a larger group of people than normal getting splattered with Gwar blood and discovering Gwar, you know.
I've been to so many Gwar shows. Whew.
How many Gwar shows have you been to? When's the last time you saw them?
When Dave was alive. The last year or so when he was touring, and I was I don't know, I was doing some stuff, and he was trying to get me to come shows and everything, but I was going through a little bit of a bad attitude. But Dave was my best friend. He was always like, he was literally lying to me at one point, telling me, yeah, I'm doing, one of my favorite bands used to be with the Psychedelic Furs, at least one of them.
I saw them last summer with X.
Yeah, X. Great band.
Well, I'm going to go see again headlining this summer. But yeah, I saw the Psychedelic Furs, and I was so happy that Zach Alfred was playing drums. I used to see him play with David Bowie.
Yeah. I mean, I used to love them before they went commercial. I loved their first two albums, the Psychedelic Furs and with the one with Train, Into You Like a Train, the second album.
I really, literally only know that one song. But I did see them, and it was cool. It was fun.
But why did I bring them up now?
I don't even remember.
You asking about
Gwar, and I don't know.
God, why did I bring that up about music? I said music. Oh well.
Music makes you lose control.
Yeah. I was talking about the talented individuals. They're all talented, all unique. Oh, I was going to say support your band. I mean, support them.
Support, exactly.
Whatever. Go to the Gwar bar. Go to see their shows.
Even if they're not headlining.
Yeah, go.
If they can sell out arenas, then maybe next time they'll be the next rung up. You know.
Right. I mean, I was talking about something about the streaming, but yeah. Oh well.
We lost that one.
But there's so many stories that the fans could hear about Gwar and Dave, and I'm going to try to keep them. If I ever am on here again, I'm going to try to keep them all positive, because you know, you want to keep, you know, especially with Dave, he's passed on. I could tell you some really crazy stories that might be even kind of embarrassing for him, but you know, I want to try to pay some respect to my best friend.
We'll pace it along, you know.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I don't know him like you knew him, of course, but I feel like he was okay with being embarrassed a little bit.
Well, Dave had such colossal self-esteem and confidence. I mean, to be able to get out in front. I mean, he was literally the kind of guy. I was always taught that you acted like a gentleman when you went out with a group of girls or whatever. Dave could literally fart in a group of girls, and I'd be mortified, but like, there's no way he's going home with one of these girls tonight. And sure enough, they'd be talking to him and everything, and he'd be going home with one of the girls, and they'd all be interested in him because he just had this confidence. And yet, you know, he had his demons too. I mean, there's so many stories about. There's the one thing in particular, like Dave, like after Dave passed away, someone from a fanzine came up to me or something, and she was pointed over to me and said, "You need to talk to that guy over there." And she didn't know who I was, like most people. And she was asking me, "Hey, I heard this crazy story about Dave Brockie, and I want to know. You know, it's almost like magical. I mean, he's just such a great guy. I want you to tell me if it's true." It can't be true, right? And I was like, well, why don't you tell me what it is? Well, I'm going to preempt this by saying it was Dave and I running around Richmond that night that she's talking about. She said, I heard a story about Dave literally was at almost all these parties almost simultaneously. It was just is it an urban myth? I said, no, it happened. She goes, no, you couldn't have been at all these parties at the same time. And I said, well, she didn't say you, she said Dave. And I said, well, I was there with him. And she says, what? Well, Dave and I were on some recreational stuff. and had been sent to him from California by a friend of his that worked in a real laboratory. And it was real. It wasn't rat poison or anything. And Dave got it in a clear vial with a little eyedropper. And we literally started the night by counting drops. And then Dave started squirting he started squirting like, before I knew it, he squirted a whole eyedropper full in my mouth.
Oof.
He started squirting them in his eyes, but literally we were running all around Richmond. And it's amazing. I was talking to Colette about this. It's amazing any one of us, a few of our friends died in Richmond, of drug overdoses, carjacked, whatever. It was amazing that the way we ran around Richmond, we were like young lords of Richmond. We just ran around leading a charmed life, but we were running through back gates and going through, just walking through people, just opening people's doors. And I was just following Dave, and we were literally, he was just on some pre-prescribed flight plan. I mean, he was wasted, I was wasted, and we were just running around and literally would walk through parties. People would go, Dave, Tim. And we walked through, people be handing us beers and here, do this. And we'd be, oh, yeah. We were walking through, then we'd go through the party like these movies you see of the crazy parties. Then we'd be out the front door and we'd be running across the street and going then down an alleyway and we'd be going into another house. And it was just a perfect, what's the word I'm looking for? The perfect conjunction of it. It was just a perfect coincidence. Everyone's having parties and everything. It was a Friday or Saturday night, but we were just running around. So she was like, did that really happen? Yep, really happened. We were running around like crazy men that night, down to the James River. I think we finally ended up at the James River, like on the railroad tracks with the sun coming up, and the sun was hitting the railroad tracks perfectly. So the orange was just beaming down the shiny part of the railroad tracks. And there was a possum there, and it had been perfectly decapitated. And we're just stumbling along. And, Dave's like, I'm gonna have to write a song about that. I was like, oh God. I mean, just the adventures that we had constantly, our lives. Dave wrote about stuff, he had the imagination. I was an idea guy. I've always been an idea guy, but not much in the action. Dave was idea and action.
Mm-hmm.
And he would look at me a lot of times when I come up with an idea and go, he'd start smiling and I go, what? He go, I'm going to use that idea and not give you any credit for it. I say, go ahead. I'm not going to use it. Matter of fact, case in point, we were at his house one night, and maybe I shouldn't give too much away. I mean, he wrote the songs and everything, but we were at his house. I was downstairs at his last house. He was upstairs getting ready to do an interview on his laptop or something. And I had seen the movie, the Peter Sellers movie, the Fiendish Plot of Dr. Fu Manchu. And so I'm downstairs, and all of a sudden I'm crazy, man. I'm getting beer out of the fridge. I'm going, you want a beer, Dave? What do you want? Yeah, give me one. And then the next thing I go, hello, I am calling you Dr. Fong, because I couldn't remember Fu Manchu. And so he starts all the way upstairs. Oh, I hear you back. This is Kamchak. He starts doing some weird, but this is the crazy shit Dave and I did all the time. Just two friends hanging out, come up with stuff. Yeah.
It's on one of these. It's on one of them. I forget which one.
Yeah, I think it's on the orange one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you about that because I know you had made a big post about it, that only 2 people know the story about that song, and one of them is you.
Yeah. I mean, Dave was brilliant, but in being brilliant, you can take other ideas and make them into something.
Yeah, because you weren't going to write
never made it into a song. I mean, we were singing back and forth at each other, just being goofy, but he made it into a song.
Hey, Tim, check this out.
Oh, no.
You are a fucking action figure.
Oh, no.
Yeah, man.
Oh, my God. Gwar probably will never sell. If they ever sell the action figures, Gwar will probably never sell one of those.
I'll buy one. I'll buy one. I'll be the one guy.
Do I have red shoes on? What's that?
Yeah, looks like you do.
Brown
Is that
shoes.
accurate?
Yeah, I guess so. I was wearing a blue suit, probably wearing black shoes. I was a clothing consultant for 10 years. So, I wouldn't have been caught dead with brown shoes. Well, maybe cordovan. Yeah, maybe they were cordovan, maroonish brown. Whatever. Let's get back to Dave and Gwar.
Yeah, Dave and Gwar.
Dave was amazing. Yeah.
What do you remember about the being around for the beginning of Gwar? Were you around when they were throwing ideas around for that?
I
what
was
was the dairy like? Did you hang out at the dairy?
Oh yeah.
Did you live there?
No, I never lived there. I was up in Northern Virginia. Dave moved down he wanted me to go to school in VCU. He's like, oh my God, you got more art talent than Scott or I put together. Of course, that was just Dave always being Dave. He was always so supportive. I was like, you're crazy. You know,
well, show us. I don't know. I think this was pre-show. You showed me that doodle you were doing, right? Can you show?
Oh, what's it?
I forget if we were on the air or not yet. But yeah, let's see some of your art if you have any around.
Well, I mean, it's all over. I mean, I've got sculptures and
this
stuff.
This is about you too, Tim. I want to know about you as well.
Oh no, I'm nobody.
Just a little doodle. That is cool. Like I could see that fitting into the Gwar universe. Let me full screen that. Yeah, let's see that.
I don't know if I can get it. This is all exercise I did. This is all sand. These are stylized sand dunes with an old dead tree that was old on a National Geographic picture. But like, I've got like, I've got artwork all over the place, but
well, if you care to share.
Just doodles like, here's one for you.
There we go. Yeah, dude, that could have totally been in the Gwar universe. What does it say?
Fond of you.
Fond of you.
It's a poem I did with it. It's called Fond of You next to it. It says, his teeth were made of the northern night sky. And dancing flames his hair, a true redhead. And a small species of shrimp was performing a tuck and roll away and falling away from him. Oh, but he's fond of you, though. And if you could see it, his teeth are made out of night sky, and there's stars in his teeth.
Oh, wow.
And he's a rather crazy character. Lots of piercings and stuff. And there's a little shrimp performing the tuck and roll and falling away from his rotting tie. There you go.
Wow.
Just me being crazy. That took about 5 minutes.
There you go. He's not wrong, dude. You're talented.
I don't know about that. Dave was, I mean, you got guys.
Give this video a like if you think Tim's talented.
You got, I mean, some people just have to be creative. I mean, I can't stop. I mean, even after Dave passed away, I was spamming everybody. I would send about 30 messages out every day to my friends, and I would send out historical references with my sense of humor, and I'd tie it in with their life and their you know, something about them. And Adam Green was like, I'm saving all these. Are you saving these? Because these literally could be put in a book. But I literally put, the only reason I brought that up is I was literally being creative. Every day, you know, I didn't just make one message and send it out to all 30 people. They didn't get a blanket message. I did one for each person. That's how neurotic I was after Dave passed away. I was just being creative, and literally sending out all these messages all the time. And then my poor friends get spammed by me all the time. I'm like, you got a little bit of experience.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
get a little bit of
if I see something, I send it to people.
I'm like, what is this?
So I was always sharing stuff with Dave, music, everything. I mean, and he.
Yeah, what were you sent me? What's that band? Everyone loves them right now.
Oh.
Angels, they're heavenly.
Amel and the
Sniffers. Yeah.
Amel and the Sniffers. They're great. They're so. I love it. I love her.
What a
She,
she's like the female Iggy Pop or something like that. Yeah.
and I love Iggy Pop too.
I don't know if she's identifies as female or not, but she is like an Iggy Pop type character.
She's great. I love the whole band. Yeah. But yeah, the Chuck Varga, Hunter Jackson, all these guys came together. I remember you were asking me, do I remember the milk bottle and everything? Matter of fact, I've got pictures of the milk bottle. I remember being so scared of seeing rats scurrying around in there that I'm a Mr. Suburban, so I was literally couldn't find a place that I felt comfortable sleeping on there. My friend Joe Tessendori was down there. He looks like a big Italian Harley biker or something. And he's like, "What are you, big baby? What are you doing?" I literally got on top of a stack speaker. It was some kind of thing sitting there. And it was like maybe 15 feet up in the air. And that's where I slept because I didn't want to be run over by a rat or anything. They were scurrying around.
You must have identified a lot with the Descendants.
Yeah.
I want a suburban home.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a product of suburbia, but I mean, DC is only 20 minutes away, 30 minutes away. So I started getting my baptism by fire by going down. My very first punk show wasn't Death Piggy. It was the Bad Brains.
Ooh, yeah. At 9:30?
At the old 930 Club.
I saw them at CBGB's once. I can say that.
If you got to see them.
I mean, it wasn't back then. I wasn't born yet back then. But
HR was just phenomenal.
I've met HR a couple times. He's a very fascinating character.
He's a weird cat now, I think,
dude.
right?
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
I think he's kind of lost it a little bit, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's had some.
I'm not trying to be unkind.
No. He's very, very, very nice, but he's an odd character. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with me there.
I went to see them at a club down in DC. Was it the Wax Museum? What? No, it wasn't. Some new club down. But they were playing. They were having they were being reunited. And he just seemed like he didn't have it anymore. He'd lost a step or two.
Yeah,
but that was the first time I went, and I was under the influence then as well. And my friend Joe that I spoke about earlier, I hadn't seen him since high school, and I just showed up at the club, and Joe was like, "You can't stand there in front of the pillar," because they had a pillar right there, and then the slam pit, the mosh pit was right there, and then the little stage was only like 2 feet off the ground for the original 930, and I'm just leaning up against this pillar, having a good old time. And he goes, "You can't stand there; they're gonna crush you there." And literally, I was tripping balls and literally just putting my hand here again, talking about putting your hand out. It was so packed I could just stop people. Then I started slam dancing that night, doing the Huntington strut back and forth, 6'5", 200 pounds, those big legs going back and forth, arms going back and forth. Those little punks didn't know what to do. Their suspenders and their Doc Martens, and they all had uniforms on. I had long hair. They were gunning for me. But yeah, then was Death Piggy and 9353 and
they said they were like an industrial band.
9353 was a punk band, but they had a kind of a unusual sound. I mean, so many cool bands came out of DC, but we're not talking about that right now.
No.
I mean, but Dave got his start right down there at the 930 Club. That's where Gwar got his start.
Right? It was with Suicidal Tendencies. Were you there?
Yeah. I was definitely there.
The first Gwar show.
Yeah. And I remember the very first night where Dave said, "Yeah, something special is going to happen tonight." They literally said, "We're going out for intermission." I was like, "What the fuck are they doing?" And they go out, they get their Gwar stuff, their cheap ass Gwar stuff on, and come back out. Right. And guess what? Gwar started getting more. When they did that, they got more attention than when they played as Death Pig.
Do you tell me about some crazy Death Piggy shows? Because I know there's always stories about Death Piggy shows. I like the nitty gritty early shit.
Well, I mean, I've been backstage so many times. I mean, like you were asking me about how many Gwar shows I've seen. literally, as long as I've been Dave's friend, whenever I was anywhere near a show, if he was in Richmond or in DC or whatever, you're on the guest list.
Mm-hmm.
I was always on the guest list. And they only had, I mean, Dave probably got maybe a person or two more than some of the other people in the band. I don't really think so. But I was always there, always on the list. And I'm sure he had tons of people that wanted to be on his guest list, but I was always on there. Matter of fact, my friend Joe would always complain. He's like, I load out with them after shows and everything and help them. This was when they were first starting. They didn't have a bunch of I help them, and I can't even get a ticket. And I was like, oh, I'll try for you. No,
Yeah, but
never
you
could
knew
get a
him
ticket
since
for
high
Joe.
school. You got that seniority. Is that the right word?
Yeah, well,
seniority.
Dave was a great friend. I mean, I've said that, and he just was. Oh, whoa.
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
We almost
Sorry, I was
lost you there.
messing with this. Sorry, everybody. Dave was just, I mean, I think the word genius is used way too much, but these guys in Gwar, I mean, there's different types of intelligence. I mean, they musically, imagination, creativity. I mean, Hunter, Chuck, Dave, the musicians, all the artists. I mean, even Bobby Gorman, all these guys. I mean, all these personalities coming together. I mean, I have to say, I have to apologize to a few people on here because I got rid of a few friends after Dave passed away down in Richmond. I didn't treat a guy named Danny Black very fairly. Danny used to be a roadie with the band and everything, and Dave used to contact him when he was overseas and stuff. Because Dave used to tell me, "Why don't you get down?" Yeah, he's like, "Why don't you get WhatsApp or anything so I could talk to you when I'm overseas?" And I was, of course, in a bad mood. Oh, I don't need those apps or anything. I'll talk to you when you get back. Whatever, Mr. Stubborn. But he would get in contact. But Danny can be a difficult character, but he was trying to be my friend, be a good guy after Dave passed away. And he said something like, "I'm your best friend now." And I like literally screamed at him in his car. We were driving to the beach. I'm like, "You're my best friend. You're not my best friend. What the fuck? Oh my God, you don't just become someone's best friend. My best friend just died." You know, Dave was like my little brother. So, but that wasn't really fair to Danny. But, you know, Danny can be a little bit of a difficult character. So I don't know. I was taking a little bit of the heat.
I don't know much about him, but I know his name and, you know, I know his role in the band. I don't know much about him personally.
He's got a lot of animosity towards Gwar right now.
Yeah, that's
right or wrong. I don't have any animosity towards him anymore because I just like I got other stuff to do, and I wish him all the success, like I told you earlier. But
positive vibes.
Positive vibes. Yeah. I mean, there's so many. I babbled on, but there's so many fun stories about Gwar and Dave. I mean, like I can't even give you the magic of the time. I mean, when all these people came together and like late summer nights, like early in the morning, like it was really hot. We'd all like walk, we'd grab whatever beer we could get and go down and just sit in big, like in cool holes of water down the James River. We used to run through Hollywood Cemetery, where there's like James Buchanan, I think Buchanan's buried there, and the president of the Confederacy, I think he's buried there too. But famous people are buried there. We used to go running through there. Here's a Dave Brockie story for you. Dave swears to this. There's a pyramid in the Hollywood Cemetery that I think was put up by the Daughters of the Confederacy. And it's a huge pyramid, it's hand-stacked rocks and everything. But I think there's a mass grave under. I think there was 5,000 soldiers in there or something. And Dave swears he was pushing his bike across there one night. I think he'd been some girl's house sleeping over or something. He's pushing his bike across there, and he sounded like a cannonball hit the ground. He felt the thump in the ground when he's passing that pyramid with all those soldiers buried underneath. He said he was a little nervous after that, walked a little quicker after that. So just crazy stuff like that. Dave swears that happened. Boom, into the ground there. Looked all around, couldn't find anything, walked a little bit faster. I mean, just crazy stuff. Richmond's a crazy place. It was a crazy place then. All these people coming together, and it just made magic in a way. Yeah. Dave used to get so pissed that Gwar didn't get more successful.
Well, that's why you guys got to go see Mudvayne.
Yeah.
Because we gotta, like, it still could happen. They could still be more successful than they already are.
Yeah. He was phenomenal. I mean, no one did interviews like Dave either.
Oh no, he was the king. I mean, he's an improv god. Like not. I don't know if anybody was better than him at like improv comedy.
Consistently, always on.
Yeah.
Even his last interview in Australia. I mean, party hard till you die. I mean, party hard till you go. You know. He was always on fire. He was just a very unique person. I mean, Dirks, Casey, Bishop, who am I forgetting? Brad.
There's so many people.
Yeah, Brad.
If we're gonna try to list every member of Gwar, we're gonna be here all day.
Yeah, but all these people, even the artists. I mean, and Dave had problems with the artists as well. I used to tell him get rid of the artists. But.
Oh boy.
Oh, and I want to tell everybody the consigliere part. I didn't walk around telling everybody that I'm Dave's consigliere. That's what he used to call me.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what. Yes. Let's be clear about that. Wording on the flyer. Do you want to just?
He used to call me a lot of other things too. So yeah.
hey, we had to have the nice.
Yeah, no respect around here. Hey.
Yeah.
No, Dave was always the best friend. Man, people used to walk up to me in Richmond and go, Dave never says anything bad about you. He always just talks you up. And that's why I said he's a better friend than I am, because I would bitch at Dave at times.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he was difficult as much as he was lovely as well.
Well, neither one of us was perfect. Right. Everyone would love it to be like a fable, and there was plenty of crazy happenings and magic and things that the band does. Here's the thing: the band doesn't even realize that all the stuff that Dave brought. I mean, they know Dave himself, and he brought stuff, but Dave and I and Scott in high school were doing shit that all came out later on in Dave's songs and everything. And Dave was, War Ghoul
was in high school with you as well.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. And War Ghoul was a character that Dave and I used to talk about all the time. Dave and I used to play war games. We've been immortalized by a friend of mine named Gary Fortenberry, who does a game called Advanced Squadron. Dave and I love military history, World War II especially. So he did War Ghoul, but we were immortalized as officers in this game. We're individual leader officers in this game. He's Lieutenant Von Brock, and I'm Lieutenant Jerkins. So he gets the better name. I get Jerkins. My friend thought he'd give me a little bit of the stab in the ribs with the Lieutenant Jerkins, but it sounds German, I guess.
It's kind of
too German. But Dave and I we had so much fun. I did the movies for him,
Yeah, you want to do another commentary?
Sure.
Let's see what we got here.
Oh yeah.
What was it like acting next to Jello Biafra?
Awesome. Jello's another musical hero of mine.
I bet. Yeah, I'm sure you guys went to see Dead Kennedy shows down there, right?
All the time.
That's Bobby, right?
Yep, there's Bobby Gorman.
Who's that guy?
Hunter. There's Hunter.
Oh,
yep.
That's Hunter. Duh. Of course it's Hunter.
Yeah.
Look at that beard.
Yep, and there's Jello, of course. I was Skid Row. Sebastian Bach was in
later on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you cross paths with him?
Huh?
Did you cross paths with Sebastian?
Oh, sure. I mean, these guys were all in there. I mean, Jello would come in. He was kind of standoffish. I mean, he didn't know me. He probably talked to Dave and the guys. Sebastian, I was introduced. I mean, I was introduced.
Look at you, man. You got some of the best lines in the movie.
Well, I think I had I think I went like a monologue almost there when I finally go off with all the dolls and everything.
Oh yeah, you got to hold those dolls. That's so cool. I wonder who has those. Liz
that cigarette. The thing is, the funny thing about this scene is I wanted to make it really realistic, so they wanted to put a cartoon animation of the cherry and the cigarette glowing on my hand.
Let's see it.
where Don puts the cigarette on my hand, you know, sleazy. And I said, no, let's use a real cigarette because I have a high tolerance to pain and my yell doesn't sound realistic. So they used a real cigarette, but it didn't really hurt. I got a blister, but it didn't really hurt. So my scream still sounded like shit. Yeah.
We got to see it.
I didn't like it. Here you go. Yeah. See, it's not very good.
but like the shot of you getting burnt is different than the shot of you reacting to getting burnt. So
yeah,
were you actually getting burnt? No.
Yeah, I was.
You are?
That was a real cigarette. But then they said it didn't look. That's what I was going to tell you. They said I think they did animation in it anyway because you couldn't see. It didn't look like much with the regular cigarette. So I think they did. If you, I don't know. I wouldn't suggest rewinding, but I think they did put a little red glow mark on there.
Let's check it out.
Yeah.
Did you provide your own wardrobe here, or did they?
Yeah. I ruined his suit for this movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, spoiler alert, that suit gets torn to shit.
Yeah, it's a $400 suit, and that's a $100 tie and everything.
That's like the whole budget for this movie.
Well, I didn't give a shit. I knew it was gonna be torn up.
Yeah.
I think I whined about it a little bit at first when Dave told me it was gonna, have to be torn up. But whatever, the show had to be made. Let's see. No, I guess it did. Yeah, they did.
I see it.
They did put a little red thing on there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, there's so many stories. All Dave's bands.
There you go. Look at that. List you with the fucking dolls. I want those dolls.
It's hilarious. I mean, these guys wrote all this. I mean,
yeah.
Other bands. I mean, you could say a lot of things about other bands and their success and everything, but a lot of bands, they just musically talented. They go out, they rock and roll and everything, and they put on a good show. But I mean, do they ever stretch their, spread their wings? Do they ever try any? I mean, Gwar was always trying stuff.
Oh yeah, and still, I mean, I would argue that they still are. Let's get to the violence, shall we?
Yes.
Let's skip to the violence.
There he is, my buddy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here comes. I think is this Larry? I think Larry lives up in Baltimore now.
Yeah, if you know any of these people who are actors, let me know.
Yeah, I know all those people, but I'm bad with names sometimes. There's Chuck. There's Chuck.
Is this Executioner.
Huh?
Was this all filmed at the Slave Pit?
Yeah, this was all on Chamberlain Avenue.
I love these.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah.
I mean, I think probably, yeah.
Lousy Head, yep. I mean, the band, if I'm going to talk over this for a second, I mean, I was looking at Danielle for a second. I mean, I've been to so many shows. They're just incredible people. I mean, like, Danielle is in a band full of guys. She's wearing a barely there costume. And like one show I went to, some field party way out in the country somewhere, and they had skate ramps there and everything, and it was just a crazy
there's a documentary about this place. I know what you're talking about. I think.
Chaos. And literally, I was just used to be able to walk in whenever I went. If I knocked on the door, if they were all dressing or something, I could just walk in most of the time. And Dave just said, yeah, I was like, it's me, Jenkins. And he's like, come on in. And I start walking in, and Danielle's practically naked there. Like, she's trying to get dressed and trying to save whatever dignity she has.
Here it is.
Yep. There you go. Ruin that suit.
There's that $400 suit. Oh, man.
This is great. Hunter. Yeah, there you go, Hunter.
I think this is one of the best B movies of all time. Like, separate from Gwar at all. Like, if Gwar didn't exist and it was just this movie, it still works.
Yeah, I mean,
the
stories are endless. I mean, you know, been around the band, been around Dave socially and working with them. Now, here's this.
I
best
forgot
part.
about this part. You
I'm
get
a real
some
wimp.
brutal
I'm
shit
a real
happen to
wimp.
you, man.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
They've always pushed the envelope. I mean,
Yeah, you'd think.
that's part of Dave's personality. That's part of Hunter's personality. I mean, all of them. I mean, even the musicians, they go along. You know, they you know, they're part of it too. So.
Oh, this is so brutal. All right. Oh yeah, dude. So wait, how did they do this?
Well,
make
here,
like
let
a
me
head
show
of
you something. Here, you want another prop?
Yes, please. We love props.
Okay, here you go.
It's a Gwar show.
This is
Wait,
how
what
they did. This is how they did that.
What a classic line. Oh, let's see it.
See my face?
Oh, there it is. Nice. So they did make a rubber U, huh?
Whole prosthetic of my head.
Wow.
Had straws in my nose and everything.
See, we had to get that detail in there. I mean, what a classic scene. To me, that's just like, that's Gwar, man.
I would also like to, I mean, before this thing gets over, I'd like to just reiterate that, and Colette and I have spoke about this, and maybe it's just our opinion, but all these people, and I think a lot of bands are probably the same, but all these people coming together, even with the big personalities, even with, I mean, there's big personalities. There's a lot of strife sometimes going on between the personalities.
Yeah.
But they managed to bring it all together, and they've been pushing it. And what I wanted to say this time was the friends, everybody, Richmond, the whole scene kind of helped make this whole thing happen and galvanize. I mean, the friends, Dave's friends, I mean, people, there's a lot of people, like I said, I've mentioned Greg Ottinger, you've mentioned Chris Bopst. I mean, there was just a lot of talented people down there, a lot of funny people, and there was just magic going on a lot of the time. So, I mean,
yeah, and
that's the way I look at it.
I want to give credit to Colette because she's the one who connected us. So thank you, Colette. I don't know if she's watching this now or later, but I'm sure she will. And you've kept a good friendship with her over the years too. Can you tell me a little bit about?
Yeah, Colette was Dave's first real girlfriend down in Richmond when he went to VCU. And yeah, they had a real night. I mean, Dave was just absolutely crazy about Colette. And they would go, here again, I talked about riding, you know, going down to the river at night on hot summer nights and stuff. I mean, a lot of people didn't have much of money in Richmond either back in the day. So we were buying the cheapest beer. I mean, they used to have, I mean, Richmond's a wild town. I'm sure they do in other towns. They used to have abandoned row houses where people go in and think, I just need to make some money. I can't get a liquor license, so I'll go in and have an impromptu bar in this deserted house for the night. There's stuff like that going on. But it was just an amazing place. And what I think is, and why I keep bringing this up is, all these influences, whether bands realize it or not, at least my opinion is that your environment, your friends, everything has, you know, contributes to, you know, the creative process. Yeah. And I hope that, you know, their next album kicks ass and they start, you know, that I don't know how they're doing these days, but I hope they're doing great.
Have you listened to the last record?
I haven't, not yet. I'm gonna listen to it. I've been so busy with my mom passing away.
This is a controversial opinion, but I think it's Gwar's best record.
Really?
Yeah.
The newest one, the one they just did.
The new Dark Ages.
Well, because I think I've been seeing it. The new Dark Ages. Okay. Yeah. Because Spotify's been showing me the other album you were putting up.
Yeah, that's a re-release from 10 years ago. That's the last one Otis thing on Dave.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, they did two with Mike Bishop singing now.
Yeah, I mean Mike's incredible. I mean Keep Home.
Yeah, I love Keep Home, dude. I gotta
Mike
get
and I
Tim
always
Harris
got
on
along
the show.
fairly well. Mike and I always got along fairly well.
Oh, good.
Mike and Dave would bump heads a lot.
Yeah. Wait, let me continue my slideshow. Of course, this is
Yeah.
from the scene we just saw. Look at that fucked up suit. Product idea for Gwar. You know, I love my ties. I think a white tie with blood splatter on it says
That would be
Gwar.
great.
I would
How
buy
about
that.
how about Gwar spelled out on a white tie, but Gwar blood splattered Gwar? Like,
Dude, get me some ties to wear for this show.
mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they what's that one? Is that
You guys hanging out somewhere.
yeah, that's in front of his house on Main Street, I think. There he is during one of the one of the movies. I was Skullhead Face. Yeah, I was during Skullhead Face, I think.
Okay, so that's another behind the scenes photo. Nice.
Well, wait a second. Sleazy
No, he
wears
had
that
one-
coat. Sleazy wears that coat when he discovers Gwar in Antarctica.
Right. Okay.
And the silver pants too.
So he's
So
gotcha.
Dave's just
Yeah,
wearing
that
it
makes
around town. Yeah. Why not? Yeah, that's me and Dave with my uncle. My uncle wanted to he wanted to do a little impromptu scene. So he's like, just act like you're selling me drugs or something, taking all my money. And Dave and I were supposed to be going downtown. So Dave's, he's being tolerant. He's playing along,
Here's that picture you had up before.
Yep, Dave was going to the Redskins game.
94, it says.
He wanted me to go. He was going with Adam, I believe. Yep.
Nice.
Adam used to have season tickets.
And here's you with Casey and some other people.
Yeah, there's Casey. I think that's Casey Hodges there. If I'm not mistaken. Huh?
Two Caseys?
Two Caseys. I think the blonde, if I'm not missing my guess, I think that's Casey Hodges, a young woman that Dave had a friendship with. Was one of his girlfriends down in Texas. I think she's a surfer. I'm not sure.
Okay. Is this in Texas?
No, this is in Richmond. This is right outside a restaurant that was Dave and I's favorite restaurant in Richmond called Mama Zoo. And we call Mama Zoo's a really awesome chef, one of the best guys you'll ever meet in your life, Ed Viseo. And I think he still has a restaurant down there called Edo's. I haven't been able to get down there in years because of COVID and everything. I should go down there, but last time I called him on the phone, I was going to shoot the shit with him, and I called him, and I guess he was working or whatever. But I was, I'm Mr. Joker. You don't know that about me, but yeah, me and Dave always.
You seem pretty silly.
Well, yeah, I've been pretty serious tonight, but yeah, Dave and I were always being whack jobs, and I called Ed up because I wanted to just say hi, and I was gonna talk to him about something, and I said, "Oh, hello, I go, hello, Mr. or Mrs. Like the old salesman guys that would call and like a reading from a script." And he must have been working in the kitchen or something, but it went silent for a second. I go, "Ed, it's me, Tim," and he just hung up on me. So I don't know what's going on there. I hope he's still my friend, but yeah, that's outside of a restaurant called Mama Zoo. Dave and I used to go there. Ed would always comp our meals, a supreme gentleman. And Dave and I started getting the habit of taking like wads, like $200 in bills there because they didn't accept credit at the time, credit cards. So we'd go in there and we knew after a while, we pretty much know. We go, "You think Ed's gonna?" We never really talked about it until later on. We're like, "God, Ed's probably gonna comp our meal." Poor Ed.
You always got to be prepared to pay for it, though, right?
Well, no. What we do is we'd be prepared, but what we would do is when he comp our meal, we didn't leave there with our money. We'd take all that money and start tipping even the waiters that didn't wait on us. Like they'd only have a few waiters and waitresses there. They'd have the cook. We'd start tipping the bartender, everybody. Not the customers, but all Ed's employees, because we appreciated them so much.
There's that art you were showing before.
Yep.
Noon.
That those are some of my doodles again.
Those are some of yours. Okay.
Yeah. There's Dave's. Yeah, that's the slave pit. I think I was down there for, that's during the 2010 GWARBecue.
Nice. Yeah, it's was Mike Bishop playing with them, or is he just hanging out?
He was just hanging out, I believe. Or did he play that? No.
Was this the year, was this the year they did all the
there.
eras? Was this the year that they did like all the eras of Gwar, and every like the old lineups would come in and do a couple songs?
I think, they think they did do that. I think who else played that day?
Well, like I don't know who else played, but I know like the Alternatives did a set with Gwar, and then like
I think Greg played,
and stuff.
Yeah, so they had different people showing up.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, gotcha. And there's
well, that's me. I think that's Dave. I don't know where you found that picture on the left. I think Dave Washburn took that picture. He wanted me to come down on Dave's birthday, I believe, and we went to the grave site and everything. Dave Washburn was a good friend of Dave's as well.
And you're wearing the Corey Smooch shirt.
Yep, Dave gave me that shirt.
And this is just you being see, you're a silly man. Look at this.
That's a Dave's shirt right there.
Yeah, that's definitely Dave's artwork. That
no, that's Dave's shirt.
Oh, it's actually Dave's shirt.
Yes. He cut it off. Here, hold on.
Okay. Holding on.
Hold on. Okay. Where is it? No. I've got so much stuff.
Too much stuff. Too much
Well,
stuff.
I got shirts
You
of Dave.
got too much stuff. Oh, there it is. Nice.
Yep. This is one of the first ones they ever did. This is their tour of Europe. This is when they
wow.
Slovak, Holland, Belgium, Austria, Denmark.
That shirt hasn't deteriorated. Did I say that right? Oh my God, I'm getting that Gwar smash.
Deteriorated. Yes, deteriorated.
Gwar
English
smash
is a hard language.
Yeah,
I've never perfected my speaking of it. Let's see. I mean, what else do I have? I mean, you've seen.
That's pretty much up with my slideshow.
Well, you guys have seen the big picture. Now, this is another one of Dave's artwork. He did that for me for Christmas one year.
Nice.
Here's Mama Zoo I was telling you about.
Oh yeah.
All my tour. This is all my tour backstage passes.
The Ritz, is that in New York?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was when they were doing one of their ROG shows. I think I was telling you about this. I played at I was actually on the stage at CBGB.
Oh wow.
They played CBGB and I fucked up the intro.
What were you supposed to do and what happened?
Dave and I was supposed to dress up like in my suit, my double-breasted olive suit and everything, one of my suits, and wear my Wayfarer sunglasses. I was supposed to be, because at the time a lot of hip-hop artists were having like guys like badass posse up on the stage with them and everything. And Dave had this idea, and Dave was always trying to get me involved in stuff. You know, wanted his buddy with him. You know, going to New York. Come on. So I was like, nah. Yeah, you gotta go. You'll be Manny Cotti. That was my name, Manny Cotti.
Oh, that was you. See, even in ROG, when they're being themselves, they couldn't even just be themselves. It's crazy.
No, and I had to be up there, and Dave and I went out running around. I guess it's the Bowery around the CBGB. It's the Bowery.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we went running around, and we bought a bottle of vodka, and we were drinking straight vodka and running around like crazy people. We came back. I had been asking Dave well before we got the bottle of vodka, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? How do you want me to introduce you? Give me some lines. I'll memorize them. Give them to me. I memorized all those lines for the Gwar movie.
Mm-hmm.
so nope. Just kept putting it off. No, something like whatever. He was just, we went drinking, we came back, and I went through the whole thing. Very nice build up. And then I said Gwar at the very. Put your hands together.
No.
Let's hear it for Gwar instead of Rog. And you could hear crickets in the place. No one clapped. There might have been one like confused clap. And then I hear Dirks behind me all of a sudden go, Manny, that's Rog. And I go, Rog. I mean, Rog or whatever. I said, put your hands together for Rog. And then it was just already ruined. No one even really clapped at that time. So I fucked that one up. Excuse my language. Oh, you muted yourself.
Rog, the Gwar tribute band from Schenectady, New York, right?
I built it all up. The world's premier Gwar cover tune band. Put your hands together and don't slack off. I mean, I was going off, and then Gwar. We don't see Gwar up there. What the hell? Yeah.
Hey, this is a good time to promote some upcoming shows because this is actually relevant to in a way. Next on the show, Jim Thompson from the Alternatives. He was Hans Orifice, then he came back as Hans Sphincter. We're gonna find out what that all means. And then, speaking of Gwar tribute bands, there is actually a Gwar tribute band called Gwar, and they were gonna be on the show Wednesday, July 5th.
Oh my God!
With an F-W-A-R. Can you believe it? Yeah, they got the costume.
I can.
They made a Gorgor. It's crazy.
I can.
Yeah, the fans. They're nuts. Oh, and hey, if you like, let's see, where do I have this flyer? I got so many slideshows here. If you like weird bands, heavy bands who wear weird shit on their heads, I'm doing one of my normal shows tomorrow, VonPod, with Squid Pisser. I mean, look at these guys. Dave is actually on not a Squid Pisser record, but one of their members' old bands. So there is a connection there. We're definitely going to talk about Gwar tomorrow on my show VonPod, right here, same time, Thursday, June. I don't know what day it is. It's June 14th right now. Tomorrow is June 15th. We're going to talk to Squid Pisser. That's fucking cool.
Yeah, I can't believe you hadn't got any questions or anything about Dave.
Yeah, let's guys, it's time to put your questions in. Let's go to the chat. I know I've been ignoring the chat a little bit. Let's see. We're going all the way back to the beginning.
There's so many juicy bits. I mean, there's years of French. I haven't told hardly anything.
Here's one relating to Skullhead Face. Did it hurt when Gwar shoved that Uzi in your mouth and skull? That wasn't him. He got his arm ripped off. He's talking about a different guy.
I think that was Larry. I think that's a guy named Larry Gray that got the Uzi pushed in his head. Yes, I think that's Larry.
Oh yeah, we're talking.
I think he lives in Baltimore
now. Would have loved to play D&D with Dave. I've heard he was a wonderful dungeon master.
Yeah, I dungeon mastered with him too. We played. The stuff we came up with is literally. This is something that people need to know. Literally, all the groundwork that went into Dave and I's friendship with Dungeons and Dragons and all his adventures and my adventures. Really, the stuff we talked about. A lot of that stuff makes its way back in. I mean, you don't realize.
Horror of Yig, right?
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, all the movies we've watched, the things we enjoy, that all gets incorporated.
We had a question about that coming up. Brian says he
Curse of the Demon.
Curse of the Demon, yes, the influence for the odorous look, right?
Oh yeah, we love that movie.
He admitted to me having the winter blues days before he left us, says Brian Fowley. Black Label Beer, miss it. John Poppy. I said he made probably 100 toys. He's made over 200. I was wrong. 200, including Cerruti Fancy Pants, as we showed before.
Way to go, John.
And here, of course, mine here is Kevin the Dinosaur, my green Jello character. So,
nice.
Yeah, I'm in there too.
Yeah, here's a book. This is a book Dave gave me.
Oh yeah, they sell that at the John Verbato store.
Yep.
Which
He
is where
gave me this.
CBGB used to be.
I did a whole playlist on Spotify. Like I took every picture. This book is a really great book. It's got every band like for like the played, and it has the year they played. So I basically made a CBGB playlist. It's almost 8 hours long.
Does it have ROG and DBX?
No, ROG's not in it because they're not in the book.
Right. Yeah, is DBX in the book? Because
DBX is not.
Oh,
Yoko Ono, God, I mean, so many bands are in there. I mean, God, Johnny Thunders. I mean, just so many bands.
Yeah.
I mean, Alan Jackson even played at CBGB. You know, country.
Yeah, I mean, country, bluegrass, blues, and other music from the underground, right?
Yeah, the whole thing is though is that I wish these guys the greatest success. All waters under the bridge. I think they're phenomenal people.
Gotta check out the new record.
Yeah, the people that are surrounding them have all been phenomenal. Like I said, it's a big soup that makes all these things happen. I mean, parents, everybody. So yeah, these were all amazing people. Chuck, Hunter.
Yeah, we're gonna land this plane soon. Lance,
everyone I've met has been incredible.
Was that French dressing in Skullhead Face's blood? That's it. Yeah.
Yes.
It was.
I mean, I'm sure I'm forgetting so much stuff. I mean, people have asked me to write a book about Dave and I's friendship and all the stuff that went on, but I'm lazy.
Right. Well, that's why you can just talk to me on the show and.
Yeah.
It's gonna be archived. What movies?
Have you had, now I started watching your show later. Have you had Dirk on? Have you had
not yet.
Casey or any of these guys?
The only current members that I've had so far is Matt McGuire and Mike Bishop, but they're on tour a lot, so it's hard to get them. I will though. I will.
Yeah. I mean, I saw Mike's. I watched. Colette had clued me in. On your podcast, and I watched I watched Colette's, and then I watched Mike's.
Yeah, I had Chuck Varga. Hunter
I watched
Jackson.
Chuck as well. Sorry.
Yeah, there's a lot of the old school guys. Don was my second episode.
How did Don do? Is he?
We talked for 4.5 hours or something like that. About 4 hours.
Don is always funny. He's Don.
Speaking of Don, I have some news for him. Where's my Gwar news? Oh yes, he will be at VHS Fest. If I don't know where this is, but if you figure it out, go see Sleazy P Martini in person. Yes, he knows Gwar. He's their fucking manager.
He's the manager. Yeah, it's just been an incredible roller coaster ride. I mean, Dave, I've watched Dave go in his highs and his lows. Yeah. I've watched him throw beers in his refrigerator. Just maybe I shouldn't talk about that one.
We'll save it.
Other bands would come out of Richmond and we hadn't been at it for a nearly as long as Gwar, and he would get mad, but like, why is it's like, mother, I'm not making the money. He would just be, and I don't want to mention anyone exactly, but I think Lamb of God was mentioned at one point.
Yeah, they're
pretty mad that Randy Blythe and and he went out of his way to do, to support Randy when he was over in Europe with the whole.
Oh yeah, when he was in jail in Russia or whatever. Yeah,
but it was nothing against Randy or Lamb of God, but he was really pissed one day. He's like, I can't motherfucker, these people are making money and Gwar is struggling, blah blah blah. I mean,
The first show I ever saw Gwar, Lamb of God was actually opening, although I missed them. But that was like their first tour ever, I think. It was like 2000.
I mean, they're talented as well. I mean, I'm not a musician. I mean, these people are all more talented than I am. I can write and I can talk and whatever. I have some talents, but these guys, I tried playing guitar and I always hear my next door neighbors playing basketball, their basketball hoop in the driveway. And so I'd be plucking away. Oh, damn it, I'm no good at this. And next thing I know, I'd be putting my basketball shoes on and running out to go play basketball. So,
Hey,
nah.
well, you probably were pretty good at basketball. You seem like a tall motherfucker.
Well, I'm 6'5", but
Yeah,
no,
there you go.
that great. My dad's basketball coach, but I ended up rowing crew for George Mason. You know, the big guys that row the boats, like Viking blood in me and all that jazz.
Oh, wow.
But-
What movies came up with Gwar in the early days? Like you mentioned the Demon.
Well, Curse of
RoboCop.
the Demon was one of Dave and I's favorites. Dave turned me on to that movie. We loved a war movie called Cross of Iron. It's a movie by well, let's see.
Let's see it.
Here it is. Sam Peckinpah with badass himself. Yes.
Who's it?
James Coburn.
Ah.
But Dave turned me on to this movie too, and it's actually an anti-war film, Sam Peckinpah, but it's a war film about Germans fighting the Russians. But that was a movie that Dave and I loved. What else? We Curse of the Demon. We love. Oh my God! What are some of the other movies that we used to always watch? Oh, American Me with Edward James Olmos when he's in prison. Mike Dunn turned us on to that. Mike Dunn brought a bunch of movies up and turned us on to a bunch. Mike Dunn brought a bunch of music, a bunch of CDs too.
What?
And we all lived together.
What was Mike like? Give me a Reader's Digest about Mike, because I was saying like he's kind of a mystery.
Mike was a slim guy, kind of tall, not as tall as me, but
Was
a
he in
slim
other
guy.
bands? 'Cause he's a fucking crazy drummer.
He's great. I love listening to Mike drum. I only got to do it a few times, but he's a quiet guy. Even though I live with him, I mean, he would laugh and everything and have a good time, but I still don't feel like I know him that well. Yeah. Even though I live with him.
Roommates like that, yeah.
Yeah. But he's a great guy. He's just a quiet one of those. I mean, I wish I had some of his quality. I talk too much. I wish he had a little bit of that Gary Cooper quality, a little bit strong, silent type, a little bit. Yeah.
Colette's in the house. She says hello.
Oh, really?
You
tearing herself away from her busy social
mean?
schedule.
Yes.
She's one of those society ladies. She probably has a martini in her hand right now. Ask her if she has a martini in her hand.
Do you have a martini in your hand? And while you answer that, do you know any untold plans Dave had that we never got to hear about? That's a good question. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Here's the thing. People are going to, I've already caught heat from people when I told stories
Whatever you
about
care
Dave.
to share. Like, don't get yourself in trouble.
Well, no. Mainly jealous people. Like I mentioned Danny Black one time, and Danny loved Dave, I think. And I said, well, I told the story about the Flipper album. He goes, I never heard that. So he said it like it didn't happen. Well, I was Dave's best friend, and this was before Danny Black or anyone in Gwar ever knew Dave. But Dave's plans, like Dave was a bit upset about leaving the band because when he was having problems with the band, I don't know all the ins and outs.
Right. I heard a rumor he wanted to replace himself and then do more acting and other projects.
Yes. He talked to me about all these things. He had done Holliston.
Yeah, Holliston with a different Adam Green.
Right, with a different Adam Green, the director. And he was a little bit sad that when he told, I guess he expected him to put up more of a fuss when he was leaving. And he was talking to me about, hey, maybe you'll move back down to Richmond. We'll live with each other again. We'll get a pad again, And I said, hey, I can't just leave my government job now. Oh yeah, you can transfer down here. You told me you could. I'm like, no, I can't just transfer. There's gotta be a job available. And then I actually have to get it because other people will be applying for it, even though I'm already with the government. And then he said he was going to get a cabin, buy some land and get a cabin out in Goochland or something out in the country of Richmond. Then he talked about maybe moving back up to New York with his old girlfriend. I think he mentioned that one time. She mentioned that more than I think I ever heard him say it.
Mhm.
But I'm not saying it's not true. He was casting about. He was casting
So
about. He
he
was a little
was
bit
definitely
unsure.
going to leave the band.
Yeah.
So all those people who are like, it's not the same without Dave. He was gonna be gone anyways, dude. Fucking get over it.
I mean, I would have tried to convince. I mean, I
I'm
was
sure,
telling
I'm
him,
sure.
Dave, as he said, as we talked about earlier, he called me his consigliere. He called me. I was like, whatever, dude. You know, it was just friends talking, and he didn't always take my advice. It frustrated me sometimes, but he would ask me, and I would just tell him what I thought. And
Was there any like creative projects that he was gonna pursue that?
well, what I want to finish with that saying is I told Dave, you're Dave Brockie. I was trying to be his cheerleader. I was like, are you kidding me? You're unsure about leaving. You've already made up your mind. You're Dave Brockie. And I'm not being negative again, but I was cheering my friend on. He was the lead singer. He was the front man. I said, writing the lyrics, I said, you are Gwar in a lot of ways. And that's not fair to the other members of the band.
Yeah.
But the lead singer, the front man and everything, just the presence, all the interviews and everything. I'm sorry, here again, this is nothing against Mike Bishop or anybody else or Brad Roberts or who might be doing the interviews now.
Oh
Not
yeah,
Dave.
I mean, I don't think any of them claim to be as brilliant.
No,
as Dave at the
I'm not
interviews.
saying
I
they
mean,
did. But I'm
yeah.
just saying what I've observed is that Dave
They
was
can be
just
pretty funny
very.
though. Like I kind of like that when he, when he did leave. I mean, obviously,
Oh,
the
I
other
remember
guys
what I was
did
saying.
get
I
to
was trying to
shine a
tell him
little bit.
I was trying to tell him you're Dave Brockie. You won't need costumes anymore or anything. You can just start another band.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Right.
Dave Brockie. You write the songs and everything. Just get a new band and you do your artwork and everything. You'll be fine. But he was a little nervous. So I'm sorry I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying, like, even though Dave is like the improv genius, as we were saying with the interviews and everything, it's great now to see the other guys kind of shine a little bit, and like they're actually pretty funny too, man. Like even Mike Bishop when he was Beefcake back in the day, like they were funny on air together.
Oh, I'm not backing off that at
Oh
all. I
yeah.
said they're all unique individuals. They're all
I
super
just wanted to put
talented.
that out there. Yeah, it's just kind of
No,
a
I mean,
side.
I've joked with all those guys. I mean, Dirks is quiet, more of a quiet type, ultimately talented, but quiet. Casey can be a little bit talented. He's not shy or retiring, but he can be a little bit quiet, stay to himself a little bit. Dave and Casey had their little fight one time and everything, a little drunkenness and stuff.
Oh,
but
I'm sure.
I'm sure Dave deserved it.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Dave could be a handful, but all these guys are just, I'm not taking anything away from them, and I hope they
No,
do.
no.
With Dave, I got to think how I'm going to say this. With Dave not taking that role on, yeah, they need to step into those things. They need to shine. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And Mike,
no, they
and I
do.
used to, like I said, I used to joke with all of them. So I mean, Chuck, I joke with. Chuck got to be friends with Joe, my friend Joe. He was just asking about Joe just recently. Want to know what Joe was doing. But all these guys they're funny, they're imaginative, they're thinkers, they're doers. I mean, that's the main difference between me and them. I mean, Hunter Jackson, Chuck Varga, Dave Brockie, all these guys that stayed with their music, all the musicians, all the artists, all these people that stuck with it. Like I was an artist when I was younger, and I gave up on it. But I'm still creative now. I do photography in the garden and stuff like that. But these guys are all phenomenal individuals.
Oh, yeah. Your photos are awesome too, says Frater. So
Frater. Frater Novak, yeah. But
Colette says no martini. Well, there's time. Well, maybe not. It's probably
wait, it's only what, 8 Yeah, it's only 8:24 where she is out in
Yeah,
California.
that's true. Yeah, it's time for a martini. I had my Gwar smash. I have a few sips left. That was my martini for the night. So let me rapid fire a couple questions for you, and then we'll have you back if you want sometime, because you're a fascinating person to talk to, and you got so many stories.
Well, I have fascinating things to say about fascinating people. I don't know how fascinating I am.
Well, I'll take it. Do you have like a favorite Gwar song or album or movie?
Yeah, I don't think you're going to agree with me.
There's no wrong answer, is there?
Well, Black and Huge and Death Pod are two of my favorite songs.
Hey, I mean, I modeled the theme song off of Death Pod, so.
I mean, I know you have your favorites, but
those are great songs.
That was one of my favorite albums they ever did. But of course, I kind of trailed off. I got busy. Dave would play me his music constantly, and I'd always make comments about it. And
there's a lot of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of it. There's a lot of albums. I mean, that's over 25 years of a band being together.
25. It's almost 40 now.
Well, yeah, about 30 now. But here's again the stamina that musicians need, that artists need. I mean, Colette can speak to this. You can speak to this. I mean, trying to make your living off of entertaining others or just being an artist is scary stuff. And that's why I don't hold. I mean, if they have Dave's art or whatever, and whatever they need to do to be successful, I mean, it's hard on bands.
Yeah.
I wish we could get away from all the music sharing and everything now, and I wish bands could get back to making some good money.
Yeah, we'll go buy some Gwar stuff. What did you think of the documentary? Did you watch it?
I didn't.
Oh.
I was invited. I was invited by Dave Washburn to go see it, and it was during. I was being careful about COVID, and I work for the government, and the government was like, "Oh, you need to get all your shots."
Well,
and I've had
streaming
4
on
shots.
Shudder. You can buy it on Blu-ray.
Well, yeah, I will watch it.
Yeah, okay. I want to hear you. Okay, when you watch it, let me know. I want to hear your opinions on the documentary.
I think I'm in it for like a second.
I'm not sure. I mean,
I heard some rumblings, I think, from Colette that they were going to talk to me, but they never called me or anything.
Yeah, Colette's in it.
Yeah, Colette should be in it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a bit player.
You sound great. That's what she says. Lance says all different types, styles of humor too. Yes, all the members love this interview. Oh, thank you. Okay. Here's what I want to end on, because we didn't get to talk about it. Tell me about Dave's brother.
Andrew, yeah. Really kind of a strange story. If you, at least for me, I kind of go the ins and outs of all the stories, and I look at things at different angles. And Andrew was adopted by Mr. and Mrs. Brockie. Dave was adopted by Mr. and Mrs. Brockie. They were both adopted. They weren't, blood. They weren't brothers by blood, but they were both brilliant. Andrew was literally, I think, was rated like a genius, like very high intelligence level. I think Dave used to tell me he was like one of the top SAT scores. I mean, I think he had one of the top scores. I mean, he wanted to go to Berkeley, but Dave's dad was like, "Nah, you'll go to what's wrong with George Mason, which is right around the corner, whatever." And Andrew was gay. I don't know. Is that the proper alternative lifestyle?
No, I think we could say gay. Hey, it's Pride Month. We're gonna celebrate Andrew here.
And I met Andrew before I met Dave. I knew Andrew. Andrew was my age.
Right, because he's older, right?
And he played Dungeons and Dragons too.
Mm-hmm.
And he was brilliant, mathematical, everything, just brilliant. Well-spoken. And then I met Dave. I didn't even know Dave was his brother. Met Dave in art class, but Andrew got AIDS.
Right.
Andrew ran around. Remember, I made a slight comment about Dave got into a lot of stuff. Well, Dave used to go down to DC. When I got out of high school, I started going to George Mason. We didn't lose contact, but I was running around with college girls and whatever. And Dave was still in high school, and but he was running around down. His brother Andrew was gay, and literally was running around DC, and this kind of DC was almost like a new movement. I mean, the gay people have been around forever, but it was like this new scene, and there was a lot of drug usage and everything, acid, all kinds of things. And Dave ran around with his brother. He idolized Andrew in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
and
right here.
Andrew got AIDS
I want to know more
before
about
there was
Andrew,
any cure.
yeah. Right.
And I watched Andrew fade away right in front of me.
How old was
was
he when he died?
He was my age. He was in his 40s when he died, I think, or third. I'm bad with years, but he, it crushed Dave. He loved his brother, and
of course, yeah.
and the thing is they're both adopted. Here's the thing why I started this whole thing, how I see angles. They're both adopted, and they're both brilliant. What are the odds? Andrew really was brilliant, and Dave there's different types of intelligence. You could be great at math. You can have social intelligence, like you just know how to handle yourself in social situations. Dave had imagination. He had the presence. He could charm people. He just had it all. He never argued with his dad. His dad said all the time, Dave never backtalked me, everything. Dave was always respectful. Dave was a great guy, but he got into a lot of mischief. I mean, what I was telling you also about all the stuff he got into.
What he did?
Well, yeah,
Dave,
I mean,
Brockie?
Dave was just a free spirit. He was just a one of a kind. And Colette could tell you. I mean, Colette could tell you about the connection they had and everything. I mean, I had a connection with him immediately. And I'm not the kind of person I'm always been friendly socially, but I'm not the kind of person that makes friends. I'm like I used to be like, hey, you're the greatest guy ever. But then I met Dave, and Dave was we were friends immediately. And other people, like I said, I'm your best friend now. No, I wasn't that very happy with that, but
Sorry, Danny.
Yeah, but I want to reiterate that I wasn't fair to Danny either. Danny,
right.
I could be a jerk. I could be the biggest jerk there could be.
It was a very emotional time, I'm sure. I mean, right after his death and everything.
Yeah, and also another person I have to mention is Olivia Glave. She's another friend of ours, and I kind of gave her the heave-ho as well, but she kind of accused me of trying to trick Danny or something. I don't know, whatever. I just tried to talk to her and say, hey, you have some pull with Danny. Maybe you could talk to him about talking to the guy from VCU and getting that, having the guy from VCU come over and look at Dave's stuff and see if there's anything they want for the memorial or whatever. No, but it wouldn't do it, but whatever. But I just want to say all is water under the bridge. It's not even worth poisoning that well. And there are so many fantastic people. I can't say that enough. There are some shitbirds, but there are some fantastic people. I mean, and I lost sight of that for a little while because Dave made me promise that I was gonna, and so I had to do battle with the band a little bit, but I consider them all friends.
I think that's a wonderful way to end this.
Yeah.
We'll definitely have to have you back at some point. But
I haven't even scratched the surface.
Yeah, exactly. I know there's so much to talk about. But you're gonna have to listen to the new record and watch the documentary before next time, so we can get your perspective on that. Shudder. Yes. It's streaming on Shudder. It's only like $5 a month or something like that. So.
Well, isn't it on Spotify?
The documentary. The documentary.
Oh, you're talking about the new album. Okay. Yeah. I'll watch the new documentary.
Yeah, because I mean, my God, I can't believe you haven't seen it yet. I mean, maybe is it like is there a reason you haven't watched it? Is that a weird question?
Well, like I said, I was invited, by Dave Washburn.
Yeah,
Because
it's been out on streaming for like a while now.
Well, I haven't watched, for a person that his father used to take him when I was a baby. I used to be jumping up and down my crib. My dad, when he was a young man, my mom and dad would be asleep in our first apartment, and I'm the first child. I'd be jumping up and down my crib. My dad would come in, Tim, calm down. Come in, put me in my high chair, give me a bowl of Cheerios, and turn the cartoons on. So I'm a child of TV, but the last few years I have been watching. Some of my friends are like, watch this, watch that. I'm like, nah. Get this app, get Hulu, whatever. I'm like, nah. I'll just wait till it comes out on Netflix. I can watch it.
Yeah.
I did watch a show called Cleo, though, a German show on Netflix. It's about an East German assassin, and she's double-crossed. And it's funny because the Germans are great, so subtle with their humor, but she ends up getting double-crossed, and she goes after everybody that double-crossed her. It's only like one or two seasons.
You recommend Cleo?
Cleo, Kleo. Yeah, Cleo. Yeah, but for most people,
that's Tim's recommendation for the week.
Yeah.
Well, dude, thank you so much for doing this. Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry I brought your ratings down.
I know, you killed the show, man. What the hell?
Couldn't keep my thoughts straight. Kept mentioning how great everybody was. Didn't get any drama.
You had some incredible insight, and I appreciated you for it. Come back in 2 weeks for Jim Thompson.
I will.
And then Gwar. And then, of course, if you're into those weird people with masks on, tomorrow is Squid Pisser. Same place, same time. Thanks so much, dude. Dude, yeah. Fucking rock on.
Yeah, rock on.
Favorite Death Piggy song?
My favorite Death Piggy song? Bathtubs in Space, Fat Man. I mean, what's the Cheese song? Oh, God.
Yeah.
I still have signed 45s out there and everything.
Nice. Well, Colette says, goodbye, Tim. Sleep well. I'll try to watch.
She'll be calling me in a minute.
Yeah.
She'll be saying, do you have any martinis at your house?
Yeah. Nice.
All right. Well, I really appreciate this. I think next time, if I've ever asked back, I will have my thoughts a little more ordered. Might even jot some things down.
Dude, yeah. If you think of things, just like keep a notebook and then,
Well, all this stuff, basically, what I will say in closing is when Dave did his Richmond rant, his weekly rant and everything, Dave was an expert on telling the truth a lot of times, but then he would tell it like it was the truth, but it was really a story. And then he would go back. But
someone needs to publish those, even though it was unfinished. It was some great stuff.
Yeah, but he was just a master. He was great. Well, anyway, I forgot what I was going to say.
Best friend. There you go, guys. Fuck yeah! Like, share, subscribe.
Best friend you could ever have. Best friend you could ever have. True blue.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you. Sorry I ruined your show.
I know. I'm never going to forgive you for it.
Like, share, subscribe.